Thrustmaster. Push 500. Prevent. Rotate.
Well, hello, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream coming at you from the V1 HQ here in North Texas. Good to see everybody in chat. I apologize for delaying the stream from yesterday. This is kind of a Victory Tuesday for my New York Jets fans. Any New York Jets fans in the chat? Let's go. We got a victory over the Buffalo Bills, which nobody said would happen, myself included. So, to celebrate that epic victory, we are flying the JetBlue New York Jets livery from Buffalo, Niagara, all the way down to Newark Liberty International Airport, and this stream is going to be absolutely loaded. I hope you guys are ready for this one. I've got a real-world mechanical irregularity that I'm going to show you guys, a little demonstration about the Fenix and a little bit of subsystem modeling. Not crazy, but it just kind of... It's awesome that I can see these irregularities out in real life, bring them into the sim, test it to see if it works, and sure enough, it works just like it should. Awesome. We're going to do that. We have Newark scenery to look at as well. We have the Buffalo scenery here from I&I, which is absolutely 10 for 10 amazing. If we have time, we might even do a second leg, maybe Philly, Buffalo, flip around in an Airways livery to come back in here and look more around the airport. We have some mods for New York. We got some real-world bridges. We've got the stadium over there. We're going to do the stadium visual approach into Newark Liberty. How many of you have flown the stadium Liberty approach? I bet not many. It is a real-world approach. I haven't flown it in the real airplane. I've flown it in the real simulator for training, and I was actually going to be going up to Newark in a couple days, but then I swapped out of that trip. So I feel like we should do the stadium visual here on the sim, get a little bit of practice for me. You guys get to see it. I'll show you what our real-world procedures are. It's a pretty neat little approach if they end up landing 2-9. Right now, I think they're landing northbound because there's a north wind, but that'll be good because it'll give us a nice crosswind landing demonstration because, you know, landing without a crosswind is underrated. So, A victory lap, Milltown 24, perhaps, man. What's up? Good to see you. Couple members in chat. Good to see everybody there. Couple new emojis. Slam Cannon in the house. Long time no see, my friend. Good to see you. How is it going? Hope you're doing well. Look at the new epaulet there. The official 36-month epaulet is not epaulet. It's a wing. You've officially been pinned by V1 Sim. You're a V1. You've got your winging ceremony, or pinning ceremony, as they call it when you get hired at a big airline. They do a little winging ceremony for you. You get your wings and all that. So awesome to see that. Let's go ahead and get this airplane fired up, and we'll take a look at it. I'll show you some stuff around. We're in the Buffalo scenery. Look at this airport though. Like, I'm just sitting here. I'm still attached to the airplane because I don't want to do drone cam because you get too far away. That's why I'm thinking we might do another leg back in, short leg, Philly Buffalo, and then we can do drone cam around. But this scenery is, I mean, it's just what you've come to expect from INI. It's top notch. It's 10 for 10. It's absolutely awesome. I've spent a lot of time up in Buffalo, especially in my regional days, flying in and out of this airport. I've got a video out on the ramp. This whole airport just completely white blanket of snow, and I was doing a little walk around on an Embraer 170, and I got a pretty sweet video of an airplane. I think it was a Southwest landing, and it just blowing up the snow and dust. It's just awesome. So I've got a lot of good memories here in Buffalo. It's a pretty sweet place to be. I do like Buffalo, New York. It is actually a pretty nice place to visit in the summertime. So Tobias says, can you name top 10 add-ons? Tobias, that's a great question. I'm actually thinking of doing a video for the holidays here. Maybe my top 5 recommended add-ons, maybe top 10 add-ons, so you guys can maybe sneak around to see the shop. Maybe I'll get some. Maybe I'll maybe it's something you haven't heard of yet. So anyway, your VATSIM name is the Top Gun character. No, Statui, that's actually my name, my friend. So the Jets, no idea what happened there. Broncos still lost on their bye week. Yeah, Bradley, it's tough to be a Broncos fan, my friend. Tough to be a Broncos fan. Jeff L., yes, we have a couple new emojis in the chat as well. So we got the spicy emoji and we have the X-Plane emoji. I hope you guys are ready to go. Hope everyone's had a good Tuesday afternoon so far. So let's go ahead and I'm just pulling up my maintenance log here on my real-world iPad because I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do here. So basically, it has to do with a bleed valve. Here we go. All right, cool. Let's fire up this airplane. Let's hop into the flight deck here. We're cold and dark. Also, how could I forget the Fenix updated update? What is the latest updated version? I can't even remember what it's called. And you know what? We have a problem here. Why is my Fenix app not even showing that it's on? Oh, no, it is on. It is on. Okay, cool. So the updated version of the Fenix, I think these guys are knocking these updates out of the park. We'll talk a little bit about it as we go along here. But let's get the airplane powered up. We'll go battery 1, battery 2. Let me adjust some of my sounds here. I'm trying to look around here. I don't know why some of my sounds are all messed up. Hopefully everything will come through fine for y'all. And here we go. Check this out. We're going to go ground power on. Guess what? This is, I mean, I don't know. I doubt Fenix watches my streams or mirror anybody, but it just the fact that the brightness is back to full bright when you power on the airplane is fantastic. Whoever decided to make that change back to full bright on power up, you rock. You're awesome, because this is how 99% of the power ups you're going to do it. You're going to have your screens on. So if you have like CRT screens, real old Airbuses, EIS-1, the potential for burn through is real if you leave the screen on bright. So you would dim it down or turn it off if the airplane's going to sit for a while. With the new screens, what we have modeled here in the Fenix 320, burn through does not exist. Okay, it does not exist. The only reason you would power off the screens is if you were doing a complete securing checklist. Even then, sometimes you don't even turn them off in the securing checklist. That's an SOP thing. For us, particularly, it's actually integral lights we shut off, but we don't turn the screens off. Now, if the screens were off, and I've done this before when we've had our SOP changes, airline changes, yes, shut down the screens when you secure the aircraft for the night. Well, guess what? The next morning, the originating flight at a traditional airline is going to have what's called a maintenance wake-up procedure. So a mechanic will actually come to the airplane before the flight crew gets there. They'll power up the airplane, do the initial power-up, get the screens on, hook up the GPU, get it off the maintenance bus, whatever it may be, so that when the flight crew comes to the airplane, everything's already on anyway. So the fact that you would have to power up and brighten your screens up every single time you launch the Fenix in cold and dark is not necessary, in my personal opinion. And I don't know. I just think it's awesome that they went back to that. It's just such a small deal, but absolutely love it. So we have bright screens up, and the airplane is powered up nicely. Let's continue with our overhead flow. Coming up here, cruise supply on, ground control on, CVR test. There it is. We'll go Captain purge to Captain. 1, 2, 3. We'll go status mode and turn you on. There we go. 24 Moop, welcome to Private Pilot, my friend. Exclamation point, welcome for your new perks on the channel. Glad to have you. Always a pleasure to have new members join the channel. Thank you so much, man. Kevin Thomas, member for 4 months. Thank you for your continued support. On reserve, watching and learning from the cap. Kevin Thomas, well, cheers to you, my friend. No reserve for me today, but hopefully you don't get called, or maybe you do call. Depends if you want to get called or not, I guess. But thanks for watching, hanging out with us, man. Do you notice as you hit the buttons on the overhead, the lights fade on? Is that realistic? Jeremy, what do you mean? Like, oh, like that? Yes, depending on the airplane. You know, depending on the airplane and with the lighting behind it, yes, that is realistic. Absolutely. Some are instant and some actually fade, but I think generally... Oh, I didn't mean to turn those on. I don't know. That looks realistic to me. Jeremy, I don't know. That's a good point. I'll have to... Next time I go fly, I will pay particular attention to that, my friend, and I'll report back. But I feel like I've seen both, you know? I feel like I've seen both on the line, but I don't really have a super definitive answer for you. But that's a great question. I will, like I said, next time I get out flying, I will take a particular look at that. Let's continue with our flow down here. Let's do a quick little initialization. And actually, before we do that, how's my bleed page? I'll talk about the MEO. Okay, good. So we're going to configure something right now. So I'm going to pause the overhead flow. Let's talk about this mechanical irregularity we're going to do today. It's very small, very simple. It does require flight crew action, and it actually can impact your flight depending upon a couple factors: the weather conditions you're flying in, if you're icing or not, and taxi situations. And I think Jeremy might have brought this question up a long time ago about idle speeds. But the airplane that I received, oh, what was it, 2 days ago? I can't remember. I think I flew on Saturday. Yeah, when I flew on Saturday, I had an airplane that had a high-pressure bleed valve in-op. And not in-op. It basically, it wasn't functioning correctly. And this is a tip. This is actually a relatively common fault that you'll see. And basically what the high pressure valve does, it will open when there is low power setting to the engine. That way you still get high pressure flow to power up out of your bleed system. When you have the engine spooled up, you don't need high pressure because you already have you already have enough pressure because the N1s are high enough, so the high pressure valve will close, and then you'll do the IP valve. Now at no time will both of these valves be open at the same time, but typically when there's an irregularity, maintenance will come and secure and close the high pressure bleed valve, because there is a tendency for a high pressure bleed valve to get stuck open, and now you've got high pressure and IP open, which you don't want. So to fix that, maintenance will close it, they'll secure it shut, and then you'll have an MEL to deal with, and that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to go into the config, we're going to go to the maintenance, and oh nope, that's wrong. We're going to go failures, manual failures. We're going to select pneumatics, and it's right here. HP1 is the exact one that I had deferred. You can see it now turns amber. Now, in the real airplane, I believe this would still stay green because it is in the normal position at closed while the airplanes are powered, where the engines are powered off. But either way, high pressure 1 is in op, and I'm going to talk about our procedures a little bit later. So I'm just going to configure that now. We'll go back to the regular power up of the airplane. So now that that's blocked out, let's just come down here, normal view. Let's go to our ATSU and initialize, get things started. Flight initialization, and we'll do that. ST, thank you for the continued support, man. With you, my friend, indeed. Did I get the new Navigraph yet? Digital Merc, I did not. Is there a new Navigraph for the for this thing? Because I did see the VFR charts. It looks really good. It looks really, really good. So I will definitely pick that up here soon. Maybe we'll do another King Air stream or something. All right, we're pulling in our Buffalo to Newark flight plan. Today we are operating this as JetBlue 357. Cost index is going to be 25. Cruise altitude is flight level 310. Last I checked, they were departing off of 5. So we'll go departure, runway 5, Buffalo 8. Insert that. That's a manual leg out to G. For Newark, I don't know if we're actually going to have ATC on or not in Newark, but what we're going to do is we're also going to load up the stadium visual approach, which I will discuss in length also when we get to cruise. But how we set this up ahead of time is I'm just going to select the centerline fix for 2.9 because there is no approach for the stadium visual. You have to manually build the approach in the McDo. It's kind of fun. I'll show you how to do it. That way next time you fly into Newark, maybe you can try it out yourself. So we're going to select 2.9, and the star that we're on, which might mess it up a little bit though, but it's we'll put it in there for now, is the Flossie 4, which does not connect to 2.9 at all, but that's all right. We'll do Flossie 4 off of the G intersection. We'll insert that, and our flight plan is pretty much done right now. Since I became a member of the channel, how could I gain access to the V1 After Dark Discord? Tobias, so the V1 After Dark Discord, all you have to do is sync your Discord account with your YouTube account. Basically, same email, and that you use for YouTube and Discord. You do your settings and your profile there, and it should automatically sync everything up, and you'll gain access to the members only section. Oops, didn't mean to click that button over there. All right. It's actually RNAV Yankee 29. So the RNAV Yankee 29 is, let me pull it up here. I think I have, if I go approach, RNAV Yankee, I don't think that one exists in our current database. So we have RNAV X-rays, and I'm looking at my real world charts. So the RNAV X-ray, but I don't think, at least for us, the RNAV Yankee 29 is not a valid approach anymore for us. There's an X-ray which comes from the south, but we have to build the one from the north. How do I get my cost index? I just guessed it. But yeah, the one you have, vodka, is not correct. So it's more fun to build it anyway. So peace off. Just kidding. All right. Our flight plan is in the box. Let's do a quick secondary initialization here. We're going to do Buffalo to Buffalo in case we got to come back around. No terrain really to worry about up here. Nice cool day. We'll do Buff. If we have to come back, let's land on, we'll just come right back to 5. That works for me. Secondary perf. Come back over here and we'll do, let's hit the magic barrel ref key. It's 3068, really high pressure. Everyone's probably got headaches up here. 3068, temperature off the ECAM is 10 degrees. Winds, we'll zero it out right now. And we'll do 900. We'll do 950 in the barrel for ILS 5 if we need to come back around in the secondary. RadNav, nothing to hard tune. Progress page, let's put the Buffalo Airport reference point on there. We'll do KBUF. Perf data, nothing yet. Init B, we do want to mess with this, and this is where we'll start our boarding process. So I'm going to go ahead and request, let's request catering, and then let's request a boarding as well. We'll get everything loaded up here. Request a boarding. Now, I don't think it actually brought, did I get catering to come to? Let's see. Request catering service. We're going to use, let's use Gate Gourmet. Let's use Gate Gourmet today. Let's mix it up. We got Frontier Airlines stairs coming over here. So that's merger. You heard it here first. JetBlue Frontier merger. Tony Johns, what's up, man? Late? Hey, you're not late, man. Welcome to the party, my friend. We're just getting started. All you missed is a little bit of maintenance. I went and I in-opt a bleed valve. This is something that I had recently on Saturday. I flew with this real MEL, so we're going to go over that as well. Frontier got confused by the green plane. Exactly. Exactly. All right. I noticed Airbus don't have a lot of takeoff power compared to Boeing's. Why is that? That's actually incorrect. It actually has more power, so depending on the engine model, the variant of the Boeing. All right, unless it's a CFM engine, then yeah, that's why CFMs suck. All right, here we go. Let's finish with the rest of our process here. 8.9 on the fuel, that's what we needed. That's what we have on board. So we'll put 8.9 here in the block fuel, and let's make sure it is balanced as well. So 44, 44. Wait a second. Okay, interesting. Now this is really interesting. Our tip tanks are empty. Now this is something I'd have to look up because I don't remember. I thought these would have to be full no matter what. Maybe not. I'm going to have to look this up. Somebody remind me when we have some time. I feel like we should have 1,500 pounds over here, or whatever it was, and then the remainder here. That's interesting. Anyway, we have the required amount, so that's the important part. So we got 8.9. It is balanced. Let's go ahead and get our fuel tank pumps on. We'll do this like that. We'll get our seatbelt sign on as well. Crew has boarded. Passengers are getting ready to come down to the airplane. That's good. Let's get our zero fuel weight while we're here. We're 129.8 and 30.4. 129.8 and 30.4. We'll set that there. Is GSX actually usable now, or is it still broken? The GSX is usable for visual purposes only. And if for the Fenix in particular, if you just use it, like if you board instantly and then just use it for visuals, like I said, it works just fine. Except fueling. Don't mess with fuel. Fuel can kind of mess you up. It can be kind of finicky if you try to load fuel. So just do everything through the EFB and then use GSX for visual purposes, and it works just fine. All right, we'll accept the load sheet there. That is good. Let's make sure everything else is finished up here. We can go over to our perf takeoff. Let's just run all this because we got to use... We're going to do a final load sheet and a weather, and we're going to depart off of 5. Perfect. Toga will be on. But if we get all this stuff out of the way, then we can focus on a couple other things, MELs and things like that. So with Toga, we're doing a flap 1, 17, 40, 40. So we'll go to our perf speeds. A little bit early to be putting this in, but that's fine. 117, 140, 140, and it was a flaps 1. Done. All right, so our perf data is pretty much set up. Let's see. Montreal Center or CYYZ? Who do we have to talk to? We're going to have to talk to somebody here. But before we do that, let's get our flight plan in the box. Definitely doesn't have the P3D functionality it had, but it hopefully gets there. Yeah, Slam Cannon, you're absolutely right, man. P3D functionality was totally different, but look, you still get these cool views. I mean, that's not the best view, but like, look at that. I mean, this is, especially for someone that maybe isn't doing simming for training, but just for visuals and immersion, this is pretty immersive. I mean, I gotta hand it to them. I mean, look at that. They're actually, the carts move, the bags come, like, so it's pretty cool. Like, there's no doubt about it. All right, no ATC for us, Team Vodka. I thought we'd have to talk to Toronto, but maybe not. All right. Have I had an aircraft with a part actually missing, like the hole in the panel where it was removed? Yes, Romulus, I have. And I've taken airplanes with different airline panels on it as well. I actually flew an airplane with emergency slides that were purple from the now defunct... What was that purple airline that overseas? Not Wizz Air. There's another... There was a... Wow. Was it a Wow Air? I think it was Wow Air. Maybe they like went defunct or were going to go under, and they had a bunch of spare Airbus parts. So we had emergency exit slide door was purple from Wow Air. It wasn't Flyby, I think it was Wow Air. Yeah, Wow Air. How do you open the back cargo door when I try it to close? Tobias, so the back cargo door is, everything is automatic here through GSX. I haven't done anything other than let GSX come up to the airplane. Yeah, Wow was purple. Yeah, so Wow, it was a purple door. Yep. Yeah, I think it was an Icelandic carrier, exactly. From a pilot's POV, how noticeable is the difference between CEO and Neo? It's actually very noticeable. Very noticeable. The Neo is substantially more quiet in cruise, and the sounds are substantially different, whether you're taxiing, takeoff, thrust. But in cruise, the Neo is very quiet. I mean, it's just easier on the ears, it's easier on climb out, and you burn a lot less fuel. The Neo, in my opinion, actually has a little bit better performance down low, so whether you need to climb down low or you need to slow down low, it's a little bit better. Once you get up to the higher flight levels, the Neos kind of struggle because it's more bypass air than non-bypass air, whatever the word is. You know, I think the IAEs definitely perform the best out of all three, whether it's the Neo, or the CFM. The IEs have the best performance, especially at high altitude, 37, 38, 39,000 feet. You get more performance from the IE engines. But GSX would not open it too. Not sure, Tobias. Not sure, man. Yeah, they open it for me. They just come in and open it and load up. WoW is back. Okay, really? Chris Scott, what's going on, man? American operates 320 with CFM and IEs. Do pilots fly both? Yeah, they fly all of them. All of them. It's the same type rating. You just have differences training. So you got to have different limitations, a couple different, whatever the differences are. You would go through those on your training, and then, yeah, you fly them all, man. Fly them all. All right, let's continue to finish up here. So with no ATC, that'll make it easy. We'll just, 2,000 is set. We'll set a top altitude of 310. And now let's talk about what we have to do here with our... All right, this was tripping me out. This is moving. I didn't know this was moving there. That's crazy. I should try moving the seats. They actually make noise now. Oh, wow. Are you serious? That's pretty cool. Let's tuck them in here. Let's get them ready. Right about there. Looks good. That is pretty cool. I gotta hand it to Phoenix for these updates, man. This latest update is probably, I mean, it's awesome. The sounds are good. I did a test flight. What do we have here? Olaf from your left. What's up, man? So the sounds are good. The airplane handles well. I did a test landing in Newark with a 15-knot crosswind. It was perfect. Just really good. This Phoenix is really cleaning up. Really cleaning up. Buffalo weight departure is basically a vector departure off 5. Climb on heading 055 until leaving 3,000. That'll be fine. Ground charts will pull up our 10-9, have that ready to go. And now, so 5 short taxi out. We'll start on both. Now let's discuss our procedures. So I'm going to pull up the bleed page one more time. All right, let's go over what we got to deal with. So on my particular aircraft, we had an MEL for the high pressure valve, which we already discussed. This is on engine 1, high pressure valve. So remarks and exceptions. One high pressure valve may be inoperative provided the effective HP valve is secured and closed, and the opposite bleed air supply system is operative. So we must have a bleed system 2 operative, which it is. I'm not sure what that was, what that noise was, which it's operative, and it is secured closed. Okay, we'll continue. I'm reading this straight out of what I had to read on Saturday to take an airplane with this exact MEL. So this is about as real as it gets here. Placard adjacent to ECAM display. So I had a little orange sticker. We've talked about the orange stickers before. You either place them down here or up here. If you don't have the DCDU, then you would put them all here. And but orange sticker would have the MEL number. This one in particular is 361107-2. You'd have that number on there, and I would check with the paperwork, make sure on my dispatch release that it had it on the remarks page. And I think what's kind of neat, if I go to this thing here, I didn't put it on there, but I think I could have done it manually if I wanted to, if you want to get like super hardcore. I never really used this sim brief thing, weather brief, NOTAMs. All right, so right here, dispatcher remarks, MEL item info. You see that? It would be here. It would say MEL 361107-2 high pressure valve in op, and then I would verify that those numbers match the numbers on the sticker, and it also matched the airplane. So you got to match everything up, because it is common, not common, but it can happen where something gets misprinted, mistyped, and now you're flying around illegally, technically. Okay, operational procedure. Here we go. High pressure valve. Flight preparations and limitations. The flight crew should take into account the safety of forecast icing conditions. At low power settings, the wing anti-ice will be lost if the opposite engine bleed air system becomes inoperative. So, looking at the icing conditions, icing forecast for today's flight, none. There's basically not a cloud in the sky between here and Newark, which ironically is exactly what I had to deal with on Saturday. I think I was going to LA. There was 0 clouds in the sky, no icing forecast, and it's important to note it's the wing anti-ice will be lost if the opposite bleed air becomes inoperative, because there's just not enough pressure to go around. So that does not apply, but we'll keep that in the back of our minds. During taxi out, this is where we actually have to start doing some stuff. When the engines operate in idle thrust, the engine on the affected side, the bleed push button switch must be turned off. So after we start engines and we get ready to taxi, we're going to come up here, we're going to turn the engine 1 bleed off. With the engine bleed off, we're going to open the cross bleed selector, which will be over here. We'll open the cross bleed selector. And if wing anti-ice is required, which it's not, we would have to shut off the 1-pack push button. So basically, if we were in ice, we would have to eliminate a pack. We cannot run 2 packs anti-ice, wing anti-ice with a single bleed. So we'd have to eliminate 1 pack, but again, that does not apply. So what that means to me here is on the ground, the engine effective side, the bleed push button off, and the cross bleed selector open. So what that's going to allow happen is it's going to allow the second engine to pick up the bleed demand from number 1. So we're going to run both packs on the ground. All that good stuff is going to come from engine 2 bleed. Now, the Airbus is smart enough to know, hey, you're going to be demanding double the work from 1 engine. So what does Airbus do? It's going to up the ground idle speed to give us a little bit more juice to successfully power both packs, keep the cabin environmentals cool, keep everything in check. Coincidentally, if you bump up the idle speed on number 2, you would be you would be taxiing around with differential thrust. In the real airplane, what happens is the number 1 engine will also bump up its idle thrust, even though it's not necessary. That way you have symmetric thrust on the ground when you're taxiing around. Now, what's interesting is that thrust goes from around 18% N1 to about 25%. I mean, that's a substantial change of idle thrust. Try taxiing down down Bravo to 25 right in LA with a light airplane with 25% thrust on both engines. You are hauling. So you got to be careful of brake temps. You got to monitor that. That's exactly what I had to deal with. Now we'll see how realistic this Airbus handles it here from Phoenix, but I can tell you I've been impressed so far. So we'll have to deal with that on the ground. Now here's the other thing. Just before takeoff and until descent, we're going to turn the bleed push button on. We're going to close, or we're going to put the cross bleed selector in auto. So basically, once we're at high power settings, it doesn't matter. We don't need that high pressure valve. The IP valves will open. And then during descent and landing, same thing. We got to turn the bleed back on, open the cross bleed selector until landing. All right. So you guys have been briefed on the MEL. As far as our departure procedure goes, there's no ATC. We're going to go up to flight level 310. It'll be a heading on departure. No terrain to worry about here today. Everything else looks good. Do you have any questions? I don't have any questions. We'll start both engines here on pushback because it's a short taxi out. Awesome. All right, no questions. Let's do a cockpit preparation checklist, please. We got Valeris doing a nose wheelie. When you loading Phoenix, do you use the EFB? I do all that via the EFB, Stooge. So do all your loading and stuff from the Fenix EFB, and what I do is I just hit load instantly, and then I get my GSX to do its thing graphically. Do most aircraft at your company have the DCDU? It just depends, Ryan. The newer ones do. I'm pretty sure all the new ones do. Most Neos have them, but there's still a lot of classics that don't have it. By the way, did you ever check the compass when starting the APU in the Phoenix? I did, Caro, and it does move, which is pretty crazy. Which sim brief operational flight plan format do I like? I prefer the United format. I like the way it boxes everything up for you. For my eyes, it just seems easier. To read on my eyes. All right, we got a good power up there. We'll go ahead and turn that off before we kick the bleed on. Let's start the chrono here. With that done, we'll go back over to Phoenix app. We'll get rid of the ground service. We'll go ahead and we'll pull the chocks and we'll pull the GPU. No longer need that. GSX will do the doors for me. All right, I think we're pretty much ready to go. Let's get a Unicom up here. You guys are all briefed. I'm briefed. 122.8 is set for Unicom. Could you extend the backup compass? You can, right here. And you can actually watch it spin around when you start DP, which is pretty crazy. I didn't even know that until I watched the Blackbox 711 stream. I was watching Blackbox, and he was talking about it, and I was like, really? The real airplane does that? And then sure enough, I checked it on the real airplane, and it does. And then I guess the Fenix has it modeled as well, so pretty neat to see all that. All right, that's done, that's done. Let's go ahead and get our beacon light on. And we'll go ahead and prepare for pushback. All right, so pilot's perspective. We need to go, what? Nose right, tail left. No. There goes JetBlue taxi now.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Hello. Now what's interesting is it didn't ask me. Alright, so that's closed. Alright, before start checklist, windows, doors, and slides, closed and armed. Beacon on. Thrust levers idle. Parking brake, it is on for now. Before start checklist is complete. Tiller cam is online. 3068 is set. 1, 2, and 3.
Bypass pin inserted.
Is he? Which way is he going to push me back here? Jeremy, the IDG is for electrical power. The N1 will be effective for bleed demand. So electrical power does not change with speed. That is what the IDG does. But for pneumatics, so bleeds, environmentals, that is directly dependent upon the engine N1 speed. All right, so we've decided it's nose right, tail left. Right? Nose right, tail left. If this is wrong, I'm really going to be pissed.
Release marking brakes.
Brakes release, clear to push.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
There's somebody back there, but... Alright, sorry, dude. I'm pushing off gate 3. Buffalo traffic. JetBlue 357, we're pushing off gate 3, tail north. Team Vodka posted something interesting, which is what I saw as well in the Fenix Discord. I believe it says if you're using FS Realistic, that low-level turbulence or whatever, you need to turn that off. So I've since mitigated that. I just turn off FS Realistic completely, and I feel like the airplane flies really well without it. I don't think it's necessary for the Fenix, so no FS Realistic is required. All right, that's about 3 minutes or so. Oh, yeah, we're over that. So that's done. Let's go ahead and get DPU bleed on. That's not AI traffic. That's a real live person on that. Look at that 727 over there for fire. It's cool. All right, we're good to start. Let's go ahead and start engine, shall we? Engine mode to ignition start. And let's go ahead and turn 1.
Set parking brakes.
Brakes are set. Clear to disconnect.
You have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
I think he went back into the gate. That's Volatus. Never know. Dude, the sounds. So I flew all around the country the other day, deadheading as well. I cannot stress to you how good these sounds are.
Unlocking gear.
All right, we got a good start on number 1. Let's go ahead and turn 2.
Buffalo traffic, JetBlue 15 spreading away flies, direction
In that case, FS Realistic, waste of an add-on. Max, if you're using any, oh, I can't talk with this long-winded tug driver. Hold on.
Right is clear.
Left is clear, right is clear. But the front's not clear, because you're standing in front of the airplane on the headset still. What were you asking? FS Realistic is a waste of an add-on. It's only a waste of an add-on if you're using it with custom airplanes that have good sound packs. I think FS Realistic really shines for airplanes that don't have either good sound sets. There goes Team Vodka, I believe. Nice takeoff roll there, JetBlue. Airplanes that don't have good sound sets, or maybe anything default. I think that's where FS Realistic will shine. There was the pin, I saw it. But as far as like the Fenix, the PMDG, there's the wave off. We'll do a little bam, bam. You really don't need it. Alright, that's going back. That's going back. We're doing a flaps 1 depart tour. Yeah, the cabin sounds, John, are absolutely just this. Wait, was that what? Oh, I thought I heard something else. The sounds in the Phoenix are phenomenal. So let's go ahead. We don't have ATC. We don't, like I said. Alright, so we'll do this. We'll do this.
Pushing on the altitude.
All right, so after start checklist, that's done. That's done. That's done. After start checklist is complete, and we are reset to 0. Yes, we are. So now here we go. We got to do our MEL, right? On ground with engines at idle, we must do engine 1 bleed off, cross bleed open. Watch our N1s. Look at that. That is pretty cool. Look at that increase of pressure there to pick up the demand. Air bleed 1, that is just how it happened in the real airplane. Clear air, that's associated. Status, clear status. All right, after start checklist is complete. Runway 5 is right there. So let's just go ahead and do all of our checks right now. Flight controls, full up. We gotta do 0.1 down, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral, and let me just double check that trim setting. Yeah, 0.3 down. So one more. 0.3 down. That is set. Everything else is done, and cool deal. We'll just do our flow here. We'll go like this. We'll do that, that, that. Status is associated. Buffalo traffic, JetBlue 7 taxi and runway 5. Buffalo. Brakes released, let's go. And we'll give way to the American, we'll follow you. Scotty 2, welcome to Private Pilot, my friend. Exclamation point welcome for new perks here on the channel. Glad to have you on, dude. Always a pleasure. Some nice gusts on the takeoff, roll, and departure. Pilot report from Team Vodka. Good deal, man. Thanks for the heads up. All right, we'll follow the American 737-800's Astrojet. I don't know if you manually selected that livery or if that's just VATSIM that picked that. Well, however, absolutely 11 out of 10 on the livery there. Astrojet, love it. All right, so now Volaris is going to taxi out. Oh, I guess we'll go behind him. Cut across, clear right. Is there a frame hit with this airport? I had a bit for LAX. Anthony, you know what? If there is, it's pretty small, and it's probably nowhere near as big as LA. LA is a pretty large scenery. The scenery is much smaller. I'll tell you right now, I haven't noticed any difference than just regular default, but I'm sure there is. There's always going to be a performance hit when you start adding stuff on, but it's pretty minimal. But I mean, it's just I did a great job with this one as well. And this is actually not a sponsor stream. I actually picked this up just before the stream. I think it's $15, $17, something like that. 17 pounds maybe. But absolutely love it. It's a great airport. We might actually do a second leg just so we can look around it some more.
Buffalo traffic, American 1789, Boeing 737, departing runway 5, right turn out to the southwest, Buffalo.
Buffalo, what I see, forward line up behind the
Volaris. It actually sounds like he is flying for Volaris. That's awesome. I buff is the best scenery as far as performance. There you go. So, whoever was asking about perf, listen to that spool up though. These sounds are amazing, man. I wish we had a more high def Jets livery. This Jets livery it's okay, but it's not awesome. There's some like low res stuff on it, but we gotta fly the Jets. We're taking them home. Victory Tuesday from beating Josh Allen here in Buffalo. This looks so good here. I've held short here of 5 so many times, man. Oh, this looks amazing, guys.
Below traffic at 1835, taxi via Alpha the runway 05.
Even the way they cut the grass, 2 different lengths.
Buffalo, Volaris 624, departing after the 35 second delay, runway 5.
Brakes are set. Lights are off. I mean, what do we got here? We have 350 watching. Welcome to the board. Welcome to the stream. But we only have 119 likes. I'm gonna need 200 likes for a second leg. If we don't hit 200 likes before takeoff, we'll just do the one leg. That's the deal. 200 likes equals a second leg. We'll do I think we'll fly Airways. Maybe we'll fly U.S. Airways back to, we'll do a Philly, we'll reset, we'll do a Philly Buffalo leg. Each blade of grass is modeled. Yeah, this scenery is awesome, man. Absolutely awesome.
Buffalo, traffic, Volaris 624, departing runway 5.
If you're doing a no auto brake landing and we'll be doing manual brake, when do you engage the brake pedals? Touchdown at a certain speed? Ryan, I typically don't touch the brakes until I'm through 100 knots. If you touch them before 100 knots, they're going to heat up on you. They'll heat up pretty quick. 300 likes equals a third leg. No. Ooh, look at Romulus has his wings as well. Awesome. Love that. Buffalo traffic. JetBlue 357 line up and wait runway 5. Buffalo. All right, line up and wait. Top row comes on. Extend the landing lights. Turn the taxi light on. And look at that. Without thrust, this is what I'm talking about. I didn't add any thrust and the airplane's already rolling. That's because of this MEL where we have to bump the idle speed. And I mean, this is modeled. Like, it's actually giving us more thrust too. This is so cool, man. The sims are amazing. These sims that we get to play with at home are just amazing. So much fun. We already hit 200 likes. Oh my goodness. All right, we're doing a second leg. You guys are awesome. Good thing I got a little extra coffee here today at the office. We'll do a second leg. We'll come into Buffalo. It'll probably be almost nighttime. We haven't done a night leg in a while. We'll do Philly Buff. That'll be fun. Is it possible to record takeoff? It is, but I don't do it just because I don't want to like reset it. It'll mess up your flight essentially, unless you save it for after landing and then you want it to do it. I guess after landing, go pull it up. All right, here we go. Buffalo traffic, JetBlue 357 departing runway 5 to the northeast. Buffalo. Let's do it. Let's get your yogas in chat. So here we go. Right before takeoff, per the MEL. And before adding takeoff power, engine 1 bleed off, cross bleed to auto, nose forward on the stick, spool them up 50, everything looks good up top. Here we go. My yoga's in chat, let's do it. Toga. Awesome. It would just be 10 times better if it was an IE. Man, Toga, SRS, a runway, auto thrust blue. Wow, our speed jumped right up there to 80 knots. 100 knots, check. V1. Look at that runway texture too, amazing. Ooh, little airspeed stagnation, rotate, definitely gusting winds here. Positive rate, gear up. Fly with. Thanks for the divisional win, Buffalo Bills. Appreciate that. You're now 0-2 in the division. Freaking awesome.
Buffalo traffic United 1835 lining up runway 05.
All right, there is lever climb. I got it. Let's do thrust reduction from up here. Whoa, that's so cool. All right, let's verify. Thrust climb, nav, air, engine 1 bleed fault. That's, well, why is engine 1 bleed faulted? Reset the bleed. That's not normal. Maybe the valve got stuck. There we go. Now it's back on. Wow, that's cool. Do a little reset there. That's normal. Cool. Listen to those sounds. We're gonna be direct to G intersection here in a little bit. Let's see how he's doing. All right, let's go direct to G. You like it? I like it. Insert bank angle checks to the right. Here we go.
Buffalo traffic United 1835 departing runway 05 on the Buffalo.
Sky time, I hear you, man. When your quarterback throws 2 picks like that, it's hard to win any game. Trust me, I know. All right, engine 1 bleed fault. Pack flow low, cross bleed open. Pack flow low, cross bleed open. Clear engine 1, clear engine 1. There's S speed, we'll go flaps 0. Ailerons into the wind. You even have your Packers jersey on today? Man, I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Alright, that looks good. We'll go autopilot 1. And let's take a look here. So, status, that is associated. Engine 1 bleed. We look at our condition page, everything is fine. Our bleed, so we have the... What's interesting... But, so here we go, the cross bleed is powering it. So look at that, that's pretty cool. From the IP, so right here, engine 2 has got the load for both bleed systems. Absolutely awesome. Going up to 310, everything looks good. Our overhead is... Now this for us, this might be a CFM error. The bleed is actually faulted. The bleed is not faulted, it's the high pressure valve, so meh. But that could be a difference between, that could be an engine. That could be, actually it could be more than just an engine. It could be an actual mod depending on the airplane. Look at that, man. Chaos says, with the high pressure failed, shouldn't it just fail bleed from 1? It should just fail. So I don't know how the failure is coded because I've in the box I selected HP off, but this again, this is where like you have to know what mods are on your airplane. Some, like, depending on CFM or IE or Neo engines, whichever ones you have, and depending on the logic that's installed on that airplane. On our new airplanes, with the HP valve closed, it will not affect the bleed at all because the IP will take over. And in the air, the cross bleed and auto will automatically handle the logic. So But right now, this is fine. We'll operate that just like that. And I might even dig around in the MEL, see if I can find something for that as well. Because I've had... Ooh, look at that. That's interesting. What is that? I've never seen that before. Why is that shaking? That looks like a bug. I haven't seen that before. Don't have FS Realistic on. Nope. Maybe it's a second fault. Well, I guess we could check failures. Let's see. Well, let's go maintenance. Failures. Engine 1 HP valve now, so we're fine. Alright, we're at 10,000 feet though. Let's go ahead and get the lights off. We'll let the flight attendants know. We'll do a forward call. Alright, let's do a speed check, shall we? I'm going to go back to live cam. Keep the sounds up. So they said they modified the sounds of the wind noise, right? So I'm going to bump this up to 330. Let's just pay particular attention to the wind noise. I'm going to turn up the sounds a little bit too. Oh, what happens to all Microsoft plane screens? Oh, wow. Oh, it's the fingerprint texture that's vibrating? Interesting. Alright, so that's pretty good. That's pretty loud. Now I'm going to come right back to like... Let's come back to 250. Let's see if... Oops, didn't mean to move that. Let's see if we can hear a change. We'll do 240. Look at this climb rate. Zoom climb here. Listening very carefully. We'll go ahead and set standard. I think it's fading, slowly but surely. Yeah, it is fading. Listen. Okay. I'll buy that for $1. Now, let's hear the noise. We'll hear it right now. We'll listen to it. And now I'm going to go to wing view, and I'm going to wait for the airplane to pretty much accelerate, and then we'll jump back to the cockpit view, and it should be substantially louder. It should kind of shock our ears. I like that. Good wind noise modification there. Good wind noise. Good wind noise. I'm just going to stay in the wing view here until we're pretty much accelerated. The wind volume is now tied to environmental slider in the settings itself. Correct. I'm not sure what my setting is at. I think they said if you move it to 100, it'll be the most realistic. But I want to just see. I'm just trying to see how the I guess the curve is between wind noise and indicated airspeed out front. Do you use config 3 more than full flaps in real life? No, I use full flaps more than config 3 for our airline. The other airlines, I think Airways was SOP for 321 to always be flaps 3. But, I mean, well, flaps full most of the time. What is, hey V1, a little trivia question for you. What is the length from the front of the 320 to the most leading edge of the winglet? Well, it's a sharklet, not a winglet. I don't know that one. That's interesting. I know from the nose to the engine, it's 11 meters, 11.1 meters, 36 feet. That's from the nose to the front of the engine. and I think the CFM is actually a little bit closer. Or no, the CFM is further away. Yeah, the CFM is actually a little bit further away from the cockpit on a 320 than an IE, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the dimension from the winglet to the nose though. I know the wheelbase, nose to wheel, is 16 feet 7 inches, I believe. 16. No, that's nose wheel to nose. Nose wheel to nose is 16 feet, and then nose to main gear is 41 feet or something like that. The only one that I really care about is the wingspan, so you don't hit anything. 117.5, 111.10, depending if you have a sharklet or not. Those are the big one. No one really cares about the length. It's all about wingspan. So 117.5 is if a sharklet, and a 111.10 without a sharklet. What is this, check right? All right, let's jump into the cockpit now. Remember what we heard? Try to remember a few minutes ago when we were climbing out. I'm going to jump to the cockpit here. Let's see what happens. Oh, yeah, much, much louder. Much, much louder. Cornelius, you're getting a buffering? Are you guys buffering? Are you guys with me? Oh, yeah, much louder. Awesome. That's a good, man, that's really good. I like that change. I think Phoenix did good on that. Man. All right, let's go ahead and turn it down a little bit more. And let's go through some of the change log. Let's see what, if I can pull it up here. I'm going to actually see if I can pull it up on my phone so I can keep the screen full size for me. But I really think Phoenix has done, this update has been clean, man, been super clean. Let's see what we've tested, what we haven't tested. All right, here we go. So the latest update change logs. It says they fixed the too steep path message. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. A lot of people are complaining about the too steep path message appearing right here in the scratch pad. This is to tackle this head on, I mean, you can come at this from so many different angles. I will tell you though, just on my real world experience with FMS2 H2 aircraft, which is Honeywell Revision 2, FMS2, which is the most current that most Airbuses are running, or excuse me, FMS1, not FMS2. FMS2 is a little bit different. FMS1, which is what is simulated here in this Phoenix and pretty much every airplane that I've seen on the simulator. In the United States, it is very, very common to see too steep path depending on the arrival. The way that the Airbus calculates a VNAV profile in FMS1 is not like a true VNAV. You have to understand the difference between a geometric path and like a 3 degree and a true VNAV path. What FMS2 will do is actually a proper true VNAV, and it's supposed to actually clean up a lot of the errors. But I don't know how Phoenix is particularly coming at the too steep path message. Maybe we'll see something here on the arrival into Newark. Maybe I can see if it's accurate or not. But that one is just such an abstract bug to attack. I don't know how they're going to attack it. I don't know if it's simulated correctly or incorrectly, because it's honestly 50-50. Depending on the arrivals in the U.S. where you're flying into, you're going to get them. I'll tell you where you're always going to get a too steep path. DCA, LAX, Miami maybe, and sometime, not Atlanta. Atlanta's actually, well, Atlanta if they keep you high. But LAX I know for a fact. Miami, probably too steep path. It just depends on the arrival that you're flying on. So again, I'm going to just skip that completely. I'm not smart enough. I don't have the mathematical background to attack this question. Tampa, yeah, Tampa's got it for sure. Coming in there high and fast. All right, fixed TCAS. I guess there was an issue with TCAS. Fixed several crashes, exceptions. Never had any issues with those. Low capture and heading mode is improved. This is interesting. I don't know what they fixed on this one, but I will say I've seen the airplane more specifically on our last stream going into Salt Lake. Excuse me, not Salt Lake. Was it Reno? Wherever we went to. Where'd we go? Up in there in the northwest. It captured the low really aggressively off a heading that I didn't expect it to capture, so maybe they tweaked that. I'm not sure. Added more variables for which brakes temperature modeling is disabled during GSS pushbacks. I've never had an issue with that. Screen brightness set to max for cold and dark. Again, 10 for 10. Love it. Whoever decided to change that, I mean, I'll buy you a coffee because that's awesome. Minor VNAV calculation error fixed. That, I think, might tie into the too steep path. Maybe they had a VNAV calculation error. Again, I don't know where they're going to attack this problem from, because it is such a complex issue to try to solve. The real airplanes don't even solve it. We get too steep path. I mean, I almost want to say 50-50, depending on where you're going, what restriction you get from ATC. 50% of the time in real life, I see too steep path message there on the McDo. It doesn't mean the airplane can't comply with it. It just means you got to be Johnny on the spot with managing the aircraft's energy and getting it to comply with what you need it to comply with. Art and sound, minor fixes and adjustments. We've heard that. The cabin sounds, Jeremy, I think, I don't know if you're still here or not, but I saw you mentioned up there that it does not need a sound pack, and I couldn't agree more with you. I think the Fenix sounds now, especially cabin, engine start, PTU, are very, very good. It is a fantastic sound set. Does it lack the immersion of passengers and stuff? Yes, but it's a very clean sound pack, and it is very, very good, very well done. Particle fix reworked for improved performance, cool deal. What else they got here? Refactor cockpit wind, so we talked about that. Can be heard below 280 knots. That's what we tested. Increased volume of brake fans. This is interesting. We might have to look at that. I don't have brake fans enabled on this particular aircraft. N2 volume on approach increased and improved. So I don't know if they watch my streams, if they even care what I have to say. But if you guys remember, I was kind of complaining, saying how quiet it was on approach, and I guess they're right. It's the N2 that you would hear up front. You wouldn't really hear any N1, but I guess it's just in response to N1. But it's very quiet. Now, it's not loud. I'll be the first to tell you, on a 320, 321, it's very quiet. 320 is a little bit quieter. 319 is the loudest. But you can definitely hear engine changes from the cockpit on approach. So I'm glad they've tweaked that, because on that previous version, it was pretty much silence on approach, which actually kind of reflected more of a 321. A 321 on final, you don't hear a whole lot at all. And if you have noise-canceling headsets, forget about it. Cockpit wind now tied to environmental sounds. We mentioned that. Added seat movement sounds. We tested that. That's awesome. Cabin lights are now dimmed when set to off. So I have the cabin lights off and they are dimmed, which is kind of cool. So that's the full changelog, and I think it's just a lot of quality of life fixes. I think they did a good job. I'm really enjoying this airplane so far. We've leveled off at 310. Let's go ahead and turn the seatbelt sign off. And we're going to have to start going over our stadium visual. Let's go ahead and check some status pages here. So the one thing that this will be a test to see if they actually listen to the stream or not. So in the real airplane, when you press the all button, it will step through each individual status page starting with the engine. So it go engine. If I hit all, it should go right to bleed. So you see how when I hit all, it goes back to cruise? That might be like an old software thing. But I'll tell you, from most modern airplanes that I fly, actually every Airbus that I fly, when I hit the all key, it cycles each page individually without going back to the cruise page. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I'm just saying I haven't seen that, so maybe that's a manufacturer thing. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, typically when you hit the all, it just cycles. It basically does this. It goes engine, bleed, press, hydraulic, boom, boom. Goes all the way around like that, and then back to engine. So that's done. Systems look good. Seatbelt sign is off. We're level 310. Let's hop outside. That was a cool view. Oh, that looks awesome. Let's turn it down. Let's see what we got here. And then I gotta pull up the stadium visual on my iPad because we need to go over our procedures. It's a ProSim thing that they haven't changed. Okay, there you go. Blue Max got the answer. Not sure we can do 2-9 wins or 0-2-0 at 11. Perfect, Team Vodka. It sounds like a perfect crosswind for me. Don't be scared, Team Vodka. I hazard guess, I'm reading back in the comments here to catch up. Hazarding guess that the geometric means it uses geometry to calculate a path between 2 points. Correct, Romulus. Correct. Presumably something more advanced will take into account the energy of the aircraft, understanding drag and various configurations and speeds. You're on the right track there. So without getting too in depth on it, yes, it will basically draw a path, but it's not going, and it'll draw in between 2 points. And if you descend below that path that it had programmed, it's going to tell you that you're low or that you're low on path, even though you're not, or more common than not, it's going to say that you're higher than you should be if you fly past it, but it doesn't, like I said, it won't take into account a couple other factors. Now with FMS2, that changes quite a bit, and it really acts more like a true VNav, but the speed is then much more of an issue where you really got to monitor your airspeed on FMS2. That's not an X-Plane 12, son. Sneaking the new emoji in there. That is not the X-Plane 12, son, at all, my friends. That's awesome. I thought that was over the limit. No, 10 knots tailwind for landing. Or... Shoot, is it 10 or 15? I can't remember. 10 for takeoff. No, 10 for landing, 15 for takeoff. 020 though, that's out of the north, so 29 will be a quartering. It'll be a quartering tailwind though. How long till I arrive? Not long, man, not long. Have I tried the heavy stick? No, I haven't yet, Flame. Right now I'm running fully linear curves, or no curves at all, so I'm a linear on my joystick, and I'm loving the way it feels. Yeah, it's 10. It's 10 for sure. Yeah, 10 on landing, 15 for takeoff. That could also change with SOP, and it can also change with altitude. Do any of the aircraft you currently fly have brake fans? Yes. I heard it's more of a European carrier thing. Yes, I'd say 50-50, Lone Sparrow. It just depends. Some airlines are really good about getting them on all their fleet. Some don't really care, and most fleets are a mixed match. Have I peeped the new charts from Navigraph? I have. I looked at that VFR chart that they got. It looks really cool. What is their opinion on the best way to get 1,000 hours? Flight instruction, man. Is the Airbus in real life light on the controls when hand flying? That's a tough one to answer. You'd have to go feel an Airbus stick for yourself. So def not for desktop simming. Heavy stick is meant for hydraulic sticks, as Fenix has said, so not for desktop. There you go. Yeah, I haven't messed with it yet. I might just to try, but the one landing I did to test the approach in here, it worked just fine. Any word on when the IAE variant will be out? No word at all, but it cannot come soon enough, man. We need to get some proper engines on these things. Proper IA engines. Are there any Airbus operators, or are there any Airbus options that your carrier doesn't have that you covet? Are there any Airbus options? Yeah, foot warmers, Romulus. Foot warmers. Foot warmers. The VFR chart is accurate for UK, except it isn't showing LFZs. Oh, okay. I only looked at it on the West Coast there in California. I just popped it up. Now, let me ask you guys this, because I just looked at the desktop version. Is there a new interface for this up here, for the in-game Navigraph? I'm not sure. I'd have to look, but maybe you guys know. Slam Canna says sooner than the flight factor IEs. Exactly, Slam. What's up, Slam, dude? How's your training going, Slam? You still flying around, man? I saw you in the Jet Who simulation down there. Was that Orlando? Hope that was a lot of fun. I'm sure it was a blast for you, bud. I got a good friend down there in Trent. Actually, Slam, did you meet anybody there at the academy by the name of Dakota? Would have been an instructor. Dakota. Little short dude, white hair, mid-30s. Will you fly the 380? Yeah, of course, man. Try not to use the bar if I don't have to. Digital Merc, I wouldn't use it if I did, but I have to use it for you guys. Like, if I just use it on a separate monitor, you'd be like, what is this guy talking about? To sky, jeez, ailerons into the wind. Jeez. But you told us foot warmers were always busted. Yeah, they are. But not. They just once they break, they defer them because they don't want to maintain them. Any other option? I'm trying to think that a carrier would have. I mean, there's probably little quality of life things. I mean, they can buy. I'm sure there's probably some fancy carrier that has heated floors for the galley. So our galley, I don't think I've seen a heated Airbus galley in the U.S. in a while. But Airbus does have an option where the galley floor can be heated. Because the front of the airplane, man, it gets cold up here. Like, you got the vents, you got the avionics hatch down here. Wind blows around right up. It can seep in. I was on an old 319 last night, real cold, and we did a long flight. It was cold. My feet were freezing the whole time. I was like, man, these 319s are fun to fly, but they are leaky. Have you thought about getting one of the next level flight sim chairs? I have not. No, I have not. I know XP's got them, though, so that's pretty cool. I've seen him rocking his shoulder harnesses. All right, we're going to get ready for this approach. Shoot, we're 134 miles out. We got to start prep. Short flight. Good thing we're doing 2 legs today, huh? Good thing we're doing 2 legs. We're going to turn that down. I'm picturing V1 in a classic Mustang flight jacket right now. I do have a leather jacket, though. All right. So, for the ILS, or I'm sorry, for the RNAV visual, the 2.9, let's see. Newark approach is on. He's on 128.55. Rip. Let's go here. Navigraph. I'm flying a 319 from Suriname to Miami in January. How comfortable would I be? Depends on the airline, man. Depends on how well maintained that 319 is, my friend. And how, I mean, there are newer 319s. I mean, the one I flew last night was a 2005er. A 2005. That's getting old. That's getting up there in age. All right, so for Newark, we filed the FLAW C4 RNAV, or FLOW C4, which is really not going to set us up for 2.9 at all. Expect. There's an expect at crank at 7,000. So let's come down here. Let's put 7,000 at crank as an expect. We'll put that in there. That's going to probably make us want to start down right now. So I'm going to just go ahead and descend to 210. And we'll just go open because I don't want to dive down super fast. All right, here we go. So engine 1 bleed off. Cross bleed open. I'm going to put pack flow norm. So this is on idle for approach to descent all the way to landing. Engine 1 bleed will be off. Cross bleed will be open for our MEL. So we've got that. Now here's a fun fact on the IAE engines, on the V2500s. In this configuration, the engine anti-ice must be turned on because it will help up it will help protect the IAEs for flame out and rollback without, when they don't provide any bleed pressure. It has a real look. I mean, it idles at nil. So in the IAEs, we actually turn the engine anti-ice on. But with the CFMs, we're not going to do that. But we've got our MEL. We're descending down to 210. We need to build a flight plan for 2.9. And we're like 10,000 feet high. So this is going to be interesting. All right, I'll show you guys the approach I'm going to build. So the approach is Stadium Visual 2.9. It's a visual approach. That's associated. Stadium Visual, runway 2.9. I'm going to pin that chart. So this is the chart I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be using my real-world chart so I can look at the McDo and program it at the same time. But if you guys are wondering where I'm getting the fixes from, it's from this chart right here. And I have pretty much the verbatim same information. Matter of fact, my effective date is the same. This is basically a current chart right here. This is actually a current chart. So we have air bleed 1 off. That's associated. Clear air. Clear status. Let's come down here to the flight plan key. And let's go down to our flight plan. So we need to build this approach. So the first fix is Teterboro. We're going to put TEB. We're going to put TEB right here, I guess. There we go, 60 miles. TEB, we're going to insert that. After TEB, we're going to the waypoint of Gimme, which is Golf, India, Mike, Echo, Echo. We'll insert that. After Gimme, we're going to Slimmer, Sierra, Lima, India, Mike, Romeo. That's in there. After Slimmer, we're going to turn right at Lincoln Park and head towards Copco. C-O-P-K-O. Insert. And after Copco, it's Chumer. C-H-U-M-R. I'm going to insert that. Now, there's a couple altitudes we can associate. So Teterboro, we need to expect to cross at 3,000 feet. So Teterboro at 3,000. We'll insert that. And there's also an altitude at Gimme, which should also be 3,000 feet. So we'll put 3,000 feet at Gimme. Now, per the chart, it says cross Lincoln Park between 1,500 and 2,500, which is the Slimmer intersection. So I'm actually going to just put 2,000 at Slimmer. We'll put 2,000 at Slimmer. Insert that. And let's go ahead and set 7,000. Actually, we'll set 10 because we got to come all the way down. So we're going to just we're going to do 10,000 feet. We're thrust idle. We're open descent. We also need to get the current weather. Now, for minimums for the 320, we can do 500 feet above for autopilot. So for reference, in the approach, I'm going to put 517 because the touchdown elevation for runway 29 is 17. So 517 feet will be our barrow ref, which is 500 feet above touchdown. And we need to get the current weather. So we'll go back to the Fenix tab here. And we'll go to My Flight, Weather, Arrival. Winds are 020 at 11, temperature 15 and 3053. So 30.53. And what was it? 15 and 020 at 11. I can hear the wind noise dying off. That's awesome. 020 at 11. All right, that is set. We'll be config full. We need to basically self-vector ourselves. Let's go ahead and set. I'll show you what. We're going to do manual speed 270. This ATC hasn't picked us up, so here we go. Open descent. Spoid brakes are out. I'm not sure where ATC will pick us up from Newark approach. They are online at 2855. They haven't pinged me yet, but he may not be too thrilled about us doing the 29 approach, so we might just have to do it on our own because I really want to do this approach. I want to test the crosswind landing, and I want to show you guys some pretty cool scenery. So we need to pick up our rate of descent here. We're coming down to 10,000 feet. I'll actually do 280. The altimeter was 3053, so we'll go ahead and set 3053 in the barrel ref window. Yep, I know, discrepancy because it's a pretty large one. 53. I should sync these up. 3053 is set. Speed brake is still out. That's normal though, we're thrust idle. Out of 18. We're looking good. Alright. Oh, we definitely need flight recorder on for this. Yeah, I know it's still out. It should be, though. We're at thrust idle. EWR is getting busy. Ooh, okay. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. We'll disconnect. Because I don't want to piss anybody off. Let's just do that. We'll just disconnect. We'll disconnect. And we're going to go direct to Teterboro. So, direct Teb. We'll send that. We're going to go all the way down to 3,000. But I'm going to speed up here. I want to speed up my descent. So thrust idle with the speed brake out. If you roll the speed up, it's going to help our descent rate. Look at that. Look at that. 4,000, 4,100 feet per minute. Because you're giving it some room to accelerate in the descent. Callie Sim. Oh my goodness. Gifted 10 subs to you guys. If you guys are picking up a membership from Callie Simmer, make sure you shout out and say thank you, Callie Simmer. Can't thank you enough for your support, man. That's absolutely awesome. Appreciate you, my friend. You're an absolute legend, dude. Thank you so much, man. Whenever I hear Teterboro, I think of Cactus 1549. I hear you, man. Me too. All right, so we're going to slow to 250. Yeah, I know. Flightbox still out. That's me. We'll do this. reactivate. So in 250 knots, we're selected speed. We need to come down here. We're going to activate, confirm the approach phase. We're getting ready to go through 10,000 feet. So let's get our Chinese speed brakes on. We're not going to have ATC for this approach, so we'll get all of our lights on as well. This is going to be a sweet replay, guys. I cannot wait. And it's perfect timing for this, too. All right, there's 10,000 and 250. I'm going to dial in 3,000 now, and we're just doing open descent down to 3,000 feet. 3,000 is blue. Thrust idle, open descent. We're navving direct to Teterboro. Fuel is 4.3. We're getting a little bit tight on gas here. You guys have been briefed. We're going to do let's do manual brakes, full reverse. We'll do manual, actually, because of the crosswind, let's do low brakes. Because of the crosswind today, we'll do low brakes. We'll also run some landing data, so let's go back to here. AJ Flyer, thank you for the $5 super chat, my friend. It says, hey, Captain, thank you for your stream knowledge you give out. I have learned so much with you. Thank you. AJ Flyer, man, very kind of you. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. You're absolutely awesome, man. Appreciate you. Hope you continue to enjoy the content. And I think you're really going to enjoy this approach as well. It's going to be a fun one. And once you guys see this stadium visual, you're really going to like it. All right, so max reverse that, and I'm not sure why it won't. We're going to do dry and good. Look at that. So we're looking plenty of room. We got 11 knots of crosswind. It's a direct crosswind on 2.9. That's me. Flight control speed brake still out. That's me. I know. Why are we landing early? We're not landing early. I think Fly Live has froze again, and I don't know why. Fly Live is having a hard time staying connected to the sim, so we'll go ahead and just kill it. We'll kill Fly Live. We're not landing early. We're on time. We're on schedule. We'll clear that. Status, clear status. That's associated. 6.3, descending 3,000 feet. Those trees are Rex Acu seasons, my friend. This is going to be awesome. The sun is setting, and this is real time, too. Real time, real weather. 11 knot crosswind. Be a friend, tell a friend. Smash that like button for 11 knot direct crosswinds. Getting ready to level here. 4,000 feet per minute in the descent. My beer is coming back while I'm trying to drink it down. Hey, man, you should have seen me last night to Atlanta, dude. 4,700 feet per minute, baby. When ATC says expedite and I'm in a 319, you can expect an expedite. All right, 1,000 feet to level off. And to be pro pilots here, I'm going to stand by on the speed. I'm going to be Johnny on the spot. As soon as we level, I'm going to come right back to 180. That way my thrust doesn't thrust up here. That way you avoid that big thrust up change. So right about now, I'm going to start rolling it back. See how it went to speed on the FMA? But I didn't let it actually increase thrust. So I keep the speed brake out. We're 180. We're going to keep slowing down. We are looking really good. We're already activated and confirmed.
2,500.
Our radio altimeter is live. Andre Henry, I totally agree with you, man. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you on board. There's VFE next, -1. Let's go. Flaps 1. Spoid brakes are coming down. Flaps are coming out. Approach idle is coming up now. We're 3,000. So let's go back to our chart here, and I'll kind of show you. Yes, we have waypoints, but again, this is a visual approach. Basically, we're going to hit the Meadowlands. We're going to turn left, fly across the river, down the east side till we hit Lincoln Park or the Slimmer intersection. Then we're going to fly 220 heading to Copco and inbound. Now, you need to be, as it says here, plan to be on final landing configuration by Lincoln Park, which is about that Slimmer intersection. So we want to be fully configured by Slimmer. So we're going to be configuring early. Our 2,000 feet above and flaps 2 180 rule does not really apply on this approach. We need to configure the aircraft early because it is pretty much a 90-degree tight turn in. Now that's interesting out there. I'm not sure. That must be like another land class building or something. Interesting. We're 180. We're flaps 2. When I extend flaps, the status page comes up just like the real airplane. That is associated clear status. Things are looking up. Now we can enjoy the views. Wow, look at that. V1 is an amateur vomit comet pilot. That's a wild job, man, doing the vomit comet. Eesh. I used to do that on every intro flight or whatever when I was an instructor. People do Groupon and stuff. They want to come see what flying's all about. Be like, hey, you want to experience zero gravity? Some do, some don't. The ones that do, most of them don't throw up, but some do, and it is nasty. Sam Cannon says, did emergency descent in the bus in the sim at JetBlue? 6,000 vertical speed manually, and the expedite was in op in the sim for whatever reason. They probably because they don't allow it, because they are, I'm not going to start anything. But yeah, they probably don't allow it per their SOP. That's why they in-op it. But that's another way to do it. You wouldn't even really need expedite. The expedite button is kind of a weird thing. I think it was put in, and then they realized it shouldn't be there, and then they just left it. Because there are ways around the expedite. You can expedite without using the expedite push button. But that's cool, Slam Cannon. Cool deal. All right, we are crossing Teterboro 3,180, flaps 2. Remember, again, visual approach. We got to be 3,000 all the way across Gimme. Once we hit Teterboro, I'm probably going to start slowing to 160. We'll config flaps 3 as we get ready. And this is cool. So there is MetLife Stadium, home of the New York Jets, ladies and gentlemen. Victory Tuesday, Jets, 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 my friends. 6-3, here we come. Oh wow, screenshot. Yes, please. This looks amazing. Oh, I want to see the stadium. I want to see the stadium. So let's come to 160. We're going to do this here because I want to see the stadium from the window view. We'll probably be unstable because I'm sightseeing. Let's go ahead and go flaps 3. You can release the toilet compartment now. Look at that. Look at that screenshot. That is so cool, guys. All right, so we hit Gimme inbound. Let's go ahead and descend to 2,000. Thrust idle, open, descent. Now remember, slimmer, we need to be fully configured. So I'm going to go manage speed, gear down, arm the speed brakes, and we'll go ahead and extend flaps full. Oh, shoot. Replay. Good catch. Replay is on, dude. That would have been so sad if I didn't hit replay. We got replay on just past the stadium. That's fine. Replay is on. We're descending down to 2,000. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to keep the airplane in just a LNAV. This is a straight-up nav approach for right now. There's Newark 29 is the crossing runway. Kind of hard to get a butter on. It's really hard to butter a 29 in real life because you got the bumps from the 4s crossing it. Titus Matthews. Debatable. Speed alt star. Look at the bridges, guys. Look at the bridges. This is that bridge. I downloaded this little bridge mod thing. It actually makes real bridges instead of those weird things. Pretty cool. All right, so we're 2,000. We're leveling fully configured. I was a little bit early on that, but that's because I was sightseeing. We could theoretically keep trickling down to 1,500, remember, right? So I'm going to set 1,500. Let's do vertical speed. Vertical speed 500. We're going to keep trickling down. We're now on the east side of the river. Wow. Bills are the only true New York team, but they got spanked by Zach Wilson. All right. Here is Slimmer intersection. We are fully configured, go through 1,700 for 1,500. We could keep trickling down to 700 feet. I'll set 700 now. And at any point now, we could, in real life, I'd probably hand fly, but because I don't have track IR on and we're going to be turning into the sunset, I'm going to let the autopilot continue to work here. And you know what? Screw it. Let's fly it. So I'm going to go Flight Director 1, Flight Director 2, autopilot off. Give me the bird. If we have to go mist, we'll go right up to 1,500 feet. And we are down to land, clear to land. Basically, here comes Railroad Bridge. We're going to make a tight turn here. I'm a little bit high now. I'm actually a lot bit high, so let's go ahead and pick up that descent. Now, the turn, you're probably going to overshoot a little bit, and then you're going to have to correct back to the right, which is normal. So I'm starting the right. Descent rate is a little bit high, but I'm correcting.
1,000.
Now, if I had track IR on, it'd be much easier. But let's go ahead and correct here. We're going to come back to the right. Now you can see how we're left of center line. That's normal. There's Railroad Bridge off our right. That's going to be a sweet replay. So now it's almost like the LaGuardia approach, where now you're coming in from the left side. This turn we really overshot because of the crosswind too. So this is pretty spicy. We got 18 knots gusting from the right. Look at this crab. We're trying to get back on center line. We're still a tad high, correcting.
500. Minimum.
I'm loving the N2 sounds. The N2 sounds are very good. There's one red now, so here we go. Now we got to be careful. We don't want to come to the left too much because we have 16 knots crosswind, direct crosswind, pushing us to the left. So you got to find that sweet spot.
200.
Keep coming down, keep coming down. There's our two reds. We're stable, down to land, clear
100.
to land.
50.
Start
40,
working out.
30. 20. Retard.
Get that right wing down.
5.
Ooh, nice gusty
5.
there. Spoilers. Oh, that felt good. Look at that nice centerline control. So good with the they nailed it. They have fixed that. Love it. Reverse green. We're decelling. I'm letting the auto brakes do it because I don't want to be heavy-footed. Now I'm going to come in here. Manual brakes, 70 knots. Idle reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Newark Liberty International Airport. That was a spicy meatball, my friends. That was spicy. But that was a lot of fun. All right, we'll go ahead and clear it here. We will double back. Actually, yeah, let's double back. Let's go ahead and clean up the airplane. We'll stop recording because we're not going to do a gate record because I think we are. We're actually going to do a second leg. We're going to fire up. We'll do VATSIM on the second leg as well. We'll get on VATSIM. We'll do Cactus, Philly, Buffalo. Or should we do Boston, Buffalo? Something a little bit shorter. I'll look at the length here. But that, guys, okay, let's talk. Since we're all here in chat, let me talk final thoughts here on the update. So, number one, what I really noticed was the lateral control in that crosswind. That was a direct, it was gusting between what, like 15 to 18, 19 knots directly off our right wing. The lateral control that I had with my side stick and the rudder felt very, very good. It's felt the best that it has ever since the Fenix has been released. So I think as far as flight model is concerned, they've nailed it. The nose came down. I was able to maintain center line. You get a little bit left and right there, but that's normal. That happens in the real airplane. You're landing with a crosswind. You're going to be dancing on those pedals. You need to get that airplane on the center line. That's normal. All of my motions that I used with my side stick and my feet felt very realistic and true to the real airplane. Look at our N1. See how high their idles are because of that MEL we have. Awesome. So we're running away here on the taxiway. Now the other thing I want to note is the N2 sounds on approach. They're really good. They are probably. We got to keep going. Oh, I don't know where I'm going. Let's just go right here. The sounds are probably at 319 levels, so they're a tad louder than I kind of used to, but I don't mind that at all. I actually like it. I think it adds that, because we're missing the feeling of the airplane moving under our seats. So having a little extra sound helps compensate for that, in my opinion. So I don't have a problem with the new sound levels on approach. I think they're really good. I think they're better. They're way better than being quiet. As far as realism goes, with the sound that they added, whatever the decibel level they added, I'd say probably 50 to 75% of that would have been a realistic level, which what I heard on that approach sounded much more like a 319 than a 320, but I mean, I'm splitting absolute hairs, and it's, everybody's ears are different too. I may hear something different than someone else does, but in general, I think they did a fantastic job with tweaking that as well, so I'm really happy with that. This update is, it's awesome. We're going to park at the United gate here. There's a merger coming between JetBlue and United. These gates suck. I hate parking on these here. You got to do like this hard over here. Some of these gates are tow-in gates. Not this one, but you have to come in on like a super hard angle and then... Oh, look at that. I'm right on it, though. Not bad. Back to the left. Ooh, we're really close to that jet bridge. Oh. Brakes are set. Awesome. Fantastic. Let's get into replay cam. Let's reconfigure for landing. Engine bleed. So, yeah, I mean, we've got the MEL on there right now. That's why we have this set up. I talked about that before the stream started, or when we started the stream. Well, we don't need to sail yet. We're not done. We're not done, folks. We're going to fire up, I think we're going to fire up Cactus. Let's reconfigure for landing. I got all my lights on here at the gate. Let me see. So let me do a quick sky vector here while the flaps are coming down. What's the distance between... Because I don't want to do a super long one. What about... I don't know if I even have a Philly airport. Philly Buffalo is 242. Oh, that's perfect. We'll do Philly Buffalo, Cactus. Should we do old school, like the midnight Cactus? Let's do that. All right, let's take a look at the replay. We're going to fire in the replay mode. Here we go. This is going to be sweet. Look at these views. Guys, thank you for smashing that like button. Jeez, we've got 300 likes. Oh, you guys are awesome. 300 likes, 300 plus watching. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for liking the video. It helps out. Sorry that I had to delay this video or this stream one day. I ended up doing some flying yesterday instead. Real world flying. I can't pass up a 319. If I get an opportunity to fly a 319, I got to fly a 319. Where are we loading in at? In Philly. Good question. It's going to be... I want to go where the pizza is. So let me pull it up right now while we watch this approach. So let's load up on concourse... Well, C. We're going to do C. C concourse. And let's do it at... Because the pizza place that's really good is by C25. So, but I'm going to do it on spot 8. So I'm going to be at the evens. The even gates on the C concourse is where I'll spawn in at. If you guys would be so kind to leave me gate Charlie 24... I will actually leave me Charlie 26, please, right near the eye, because I have a personal memory with gate Charlie 26. So I will spawn in at Charlie 26 in Philly. We'll do a quick flight in the midnight U.S. Airways livery from Philly to Buffalo. Exactly, Aaron. Exactly, man. You were right there in Philly. Runar says, thank you for the great stream, Captain. I look forward to the next one. Thank you, Runar. I appreciate you, man. Will you post a build approach in Discord for the stadium flyover? What do you mean by that? Oh, look at the downtown. So the approach is in... It's in your Navigraph database. You have all the waypoints. You just have to build it manually. There's our... So this is a bridge add-on that I got where it actually shows you proper bridges. That's pretty cool. So I should wind the time back just a tad, right? Because that's... We landed in real time was right about... It was actually right about, like... there, I guess. That's what it pretty much... Look at that. There's Railroad Bridge. So this is the bridge that you hit. Now, it's imperative that you understand this. When you make this turn without a crosswind, you're going to be overshooting the runway. But with a 19 to 20 knot direct crosswind, you're going to get blown left of center line significantly. That's why you really got to be anticipating that. You don't want to overbank and overcorrect, but you have to be aware of that as you roll in here. Oh, that looks awesome. New York skyline in the background. Yes. Oh, you know what? The bridge add-on is, I just got it from the marketplace. Just type in KEWR in the marketplace, and it's like New Jersey or Newark bridges. It's the only one that'll pop up. I'll see if I can get a link here in a minute, but it was in the marketplace. I bought it straight out of the marketplace. So here we are. We're correcting, listening to those engines. Listen to this. This is neat. straighten it out. Ooh, look at that gust of wind. Settle down, settle down. Stabilize it, trying to get that right wing down. We were pretty much got both mains down right on it. Oh, right on center line when that nose came down. Here, let's see something. So if I arm the speed brakes. There they go. Look at that. Whole deal. Bang on. Little bit, just ever so slightly. You see how it's listing to the right? That's normal. That's that airplane trying to weather vane right into the wind. I'm going to bring it all the way back, y'all. We're going to set it right here. I'm going to let you guys watch one more. I'm going to be quiet as I set up for my next flight. I'll let you guys enjoy this approach in here. Alright, so there is the bridge mod and the airport scenery that I have for you. So you can see the bridges now. That bridge mod is the link right there. So you get real bridges pretty much all the way up and down the river. Oh, that looks amazing. Any X-planes in the emojis? Can I get some X-planes? Courtney Barham. Everyone checking in just past this approach in real life on the Turnpike. Great landing. Awesome, man. Thank you for stopping by. There's G-Nar. He's always ready with the X-planes. Wow. Look at that. So you can even see 2.9 out the window from a passenger view. This is a nice steep bank angle check right here. Bank angle check to the right. Left wing is pretty much up in the sky. We're bank angle checking to the right. New York in the background. You can see the wind pushing the airplane. That's just so cool. The wind coming off the water there. C-28 is open, Team Vodka. Nice. I'll be there in just a moment. What a fantastic shot. Look at the skyline in the background. Come on, y'all. Fantastic. Now, I'm not sure if all these cranes are part of the scenery or what, but they look good. Yep, Steven, 320, steep bank, the orange fall foliage, and Manhattan in the background. Doesn't get much better than that, dude. Absolutely juicy. Look at these gusts of wind, too. Look at this. So you see we're coming down, we're getting gusted, Right here. Ooh, look at that. That was a big gust. Get control of it. Don't overcorrect. You got time. Stabilize. Flare it. Put her down. Spoilers. Reverse screen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Newark. Can big jets like the 7.6 fly this? I don't think the 7.6 would do the stadium visual. It could fly it. There's no reason with it flying it, but I don't think they do. I would not imagine that the 7.6s will fly the stadium visual. They might. There's nothing prohibiting them from flying it that I know of, but I don't know. It'd be depending on their weight, because 2.9 is a little bit shorter. Alright, so there we go. We're back in. We'll watch this retraction, and then we'll reset Philly to Buffalo, U.S. Airways. I worked at Continental at United Airlines Ops at Newark. So I have a video on my YouTube for recording. That's awesome, man. That's awesome, dude. All right, we're going to end the recording there. That was awesome. Ground on in Philly. Cool deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this flight completely. Reset here. You know what? I'll throw up the Be Right Back screen. I'm going to use the lav too. I'll see you guys in about three minutes or so. We'll be at Philly. Be right back. All right, we are back in the Hotel Philadelphia. We need to get catering service on board the aircraft, LSG. We'll get catering over to the airplane. We're doing a plane swap. We're doing all kinds of swaps here. We are good to go. Let me get Fly Live back working. I don't know why it's being so finicky. Philly to Buffalo. Let me try this a second flight here. AWE 357 is set, done. We need a good Philadelphia in the sim. We desperately need a good Philadelphia in the sim. That's coming on. I borked it, didn't I? I did. Son of a... There it is. All right. We're back. Philadelphia ground is online, 21.9. Awesome. We'll get the departure ATIS from them. Let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and, oh, you know what? I need to make sure everything is off on my start switches. We got the old Airbus here. Toga says, I'm still sitting in the hospital, just about to go into surgery. Cool to see you streaming. Toga, well, thoughts and prayers with you, man, as you go into surgery. Hope it's nothing serious. Thanks for joining the stream, my friend. Getting ready to fire up leg 2 here in Filthy. It's going to be a good one. Okay, where are we at? Let's get this loaded, and we'll do sim brief. A re-import. Philly to Buffalo. Awesome. Philadelphia indeed, man. We're going to do an instant load here, so this is what we do. We do instant load. This is how, oh, look, we only have 86 people going. Awesome. And then we'll go GSX, and we'll start the board. We'll request boarding as well.
Boarding requested.
And let's fire up the airplane. Ooh, it's getting dark. Real time, real weather. Let's get our screens on here. Let's get our dome lights on. Listen to the old thing spooling up. Which Newark? That was the... It's the only one. I posted it up there. The Final Approach. Final Approach Simulations Newark was what you just saw. Slam says my dad was an A&P working in Philly during the old Airways days with this livery. Good memories. Oh, Slam, I bet, man. That's awesome. That's awesome, dude. Listen to those gyros spool up. Ha! So good, man. Love that old gyro spool up sound. All right, crew supply is coming on. Ground control is on. This is a quick turn. So FWC is on. We got that alert just barely. Jumped the gun there a tad. But we got to get the airplane aligned and ready to go. Quick turn. Last leg for the night. Phantom already did our fire test. That's going to be in the aft. There we go. Overhead is configured. Let's make sure we don't have any extra failures on. Random failures, though, are realistic. All store as default. That's done. We don't have any other failures on here, right? No. All right, cool. All right, let's do this. The analog sound from the sound from the gyro racks your head, dude. It's good, man. It sounds so realistic too. All right, flight initialization. We're going to pull that. Crew boarding has started. There we go. That's us. Cactus 357, Philly, Buffalo. We'll do a request in it there. Our overhead is already done. We're on ground power. That's good. Let's uncage this. So nice, man. Let's finish the rest of our programming here. Real short flight plan. We're, oops, AWE 357. Back goes there. We're going to be hauling tail tonight. We want to get to the overnight, go get some wings in Buffalo. Cost index 99. We're filed at 300. That looks good. Flight plan departure. It's probably going to be, let's see, they are departing 9 left. Ooh. So departing a 9er left. That's a little bit of a taxi. Philly 2, typically what we get. Philly 2, insert that out to Pottstown. That's normal. Pottstown, Sarah Timon, Buffalo. And as far as Buffalo, we don't have an arrival. So let's just throw in 5. We just came off of 5. Let's see if ILS 5 will be there. No star, approach via, no via. We'll insert that. That is done. Secondary, real easy. Philly. This is what I like to do too. Last leg of the night, for getting ready to go to the overnight. Get the box done quickly. Get it checked. That way you can just kind of gather your thoughts, recover from the long day of flying. Watch the passengers board, and as soon as they are ready to close the door, airplane is completely set up, and you're ready to push off the gate 10 early. So we're doing 9 left. If we have to come back around, we'll probably land on, we'll just set up the ILS 9 left because there's no 9 right. So we'll set up the ILS 9 left, even though we don't need it. Secondary perf will come over here. We'll zero the winds out. We'll do 200. I think it's actually like 211. I could be wrong. Probably a little bit wrong on that. Temperature, it's a nice, man, so mild on the East Coast today. What's up with that? 15. What is our current baro? 3053. 3053 is set. Secondary is done. Nothing to hard tune. We'll do Philly in the prog page. Perf data. Let's finish this. We needed 8.6. We got 8.7. It is on board and balanced. And look, so this looks more proper. You see this? I totally forgot to look it up on our last flight. Yeah, these tip tanks should be full. For some reason, the last Phoenix flight we did, all of the fuel was in the center tank, nothing in the tip tanks. That was weird. But this is a proper here. So we got 8.7. We'll put 8.7 in the box. And let's get our... Whoa. Camera's all jacked up. Let's get our zero fuel. 114.9 and 27.8. Should we flex tonight? We are so light. We're going to be so light. When you fly the A310, how come you selected Toga on the TRP manually? Why not use the auto? Because it's more fun. I'm an hour south of Philly and it was windy as heck earlier, nice and calm now. Awesome. It's one of those cool fall evenings. Do you have mods in order to use all the controls and switches in Microsoft? No. The airplane is fully simulated, so everything in the cockpit is fully simulated. There's no mods for the airplane. Now, my controls, I do have, peripherals, yes. Flex, never heard of her. Should we really do a flex takeoff? I guess we should. Let's do one flex takeoff, because if we don't flex out of here, we are going to be cruise altitude in like 3 minutes. So we'll do a flex. Flex, dry, optimum, packs on, sync, winds are 030 at 11, calculating. Wow, how boring. 18, 29, 29, flaps 1, flex 68, 118. I gotta tell you, I did a flex takeoff yesterday at 67. I think it was a 67. And I remember going down the runway and I was like, this is it. It's so lame. You do togas in the sim all the time. You get in the real airplane and you have to do a flex. You're just like, really? Really? What has this world come to about saving engine life and preserving the airframe? But it must be done. All right, we do have to call clearance today, so let's call up ground on 121.9. Kind of neat. We got some ground control today, so we'll do that while we're ahead of the game. 121.9. We'll throw that in the box. Let's take a look over here at the bags. Are the bags loading up? They are. Oh, the bags aren't here yet. Are the bags not here yet? Or they're already done with the bags? Let's go ahead and start the APU early too. Screw it. Let's start the APU. Our fuel is on board as well. That's all done. We'll start the APU. 2 minutes till we're aligned, and ground is up 21.9. As a passenger, can you tell if it's flex or Toga? Yes. If you have oh my, hold on. All right, now this is getting weird. This is my actual armrest setting in the airplane. Is Phoenix stalking me? Is Amir stalking me? This is like my legit... This is exactly where I set my armrest. I'm an F6 and a halfer.
American 1645, Philadelphia ground.
They might be stalking me. Amir, where are you at, dude? This is getting creepy now. This is getting creepy. Absolutely love it, though. All right, let's go ahead and get in line. We have information, a uniform. Philadelphia ground, good evening. Cactus 357 with information, a uniform. Looking to get IFR to Buffalo.
Cactus 357 Philadelphia ground. Clarifying for standby, you're number 2.
All right, so we're number 2. We're standing by. Everything else is set. Our flight plan is done. We are loading up. Oh, here's our bags. Look at that. APU is on. Should we stick with real time? Yeah, let's stick with real time.
American 1645, I have it clearance ready. Advisor rate copy.
Oh man, that's
Ready
crazy.
copy.
Turn down this outside volume.
American 1645, clear to Buffalo Airport by the Philadelphia 2 departure. Radar vector Pottstown, then filed. Maintain 5,000, expect flight level 320, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is offline, and your squawk would be 3002.
Things just took a turn. Not many bags. See, this is what's cool about GSX. You know, if you're sitting here
American 1645.
trying to get your clearance in line, it's
Buffalo International
it's growing on me quite a bit.
Philadelphia to departure.
I don't even know how much GSX is anymore. It's pretty expensive, isn't it?
Probably take 5,000, like 33010 minutes after departure. Departure is offline. Squawk 3002. 45.
But we're ready to go.
American 1645,
We got a light load of
your
passengers.
cruising altitude would be 320.
That's
320.
for
Yep.
American 1645.
$29, yeah, that's... I'm hoping for that price they will eventually have, if it's even possible, like some way of integrating with weight and balance. I don't know if that's even possible in the Flight Sim Pro platform yet.
Cactus 357, I have it clearance ready. Advisor rate copy.
Ready to copy, Cactus 357.
Cactus 357, clear to Buffalo International Airport by the Philadelphia 2 departure. Radar vectors Pottstown, that is Papa Tango Whiskey, then filed. Maintain 5,000. Expect flight level 300, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is offline, and your squawk would be 3003.
Clear to Philadelphia, radar vector, or excuse me, clear to Buffalo via the Philadelphia 2 radar vectors Pottstown as filed 5,000, 300 and 10. Departure offline, squawk on 3003 for Cactus 357.
Cactus 357, readback is correct. Pushing strategy of discretion. Advisory to taxi, expect runway 9 left for departure today.
Roger, we'll expect 9 left for departure, Cactus 357. Alright, so just as we planned, 9 left for departure. Let's get our squawk code in there, 3003. 3003 is set. Transponder is off for now. We've been about 3 minutes, so we'll get the APU bleed on. We'll turn off the external power.
Pushing start at your discretion.
We'll go to ground
Expect
services.
runway 9 left for departure.
And we will go get rid of the GPU and the chocks. We'll let GSX handle the rest of the aircraft. That looks good. Our constraint mode is on. 5,000 is our top altitude. We can expect the taxi out to 9 left. So if we look at, let's pull up our taxi charts here. Let's sync our flight plan.
Cactus 779, spot 8, ready for taxi with me.
Cactus 779, runway 9 left, taxi via November Kilo 6.
I'm not doing November Kilo 6.
All right, 10-9. And going to 9 left. So in real life, you'd be on ramp. You'd just call them up spot 8. They may tell you to call up at spot 2, Juliet spot 2. We'll see what they say. We'll either be Juliet or Kilo, some rendition of that, going down to 9 left here. So, funny story, this reminds me of like wintertime. This is the de-icing pad. I remember one time we were in line to de-ice. We were taking off 27 left. We held forever to de-ice. We finally got de-iced. Now to get all the way back to the runway, we taxied up. We were in line. Basically made our way all the way up. Got ready for 27 left, and then our holdover time expired. So we had to get out of line, go all the way back, get de-iced again, taxi out again, took the runway, out of fuel, back to the gate, more fuel, flight canceled. Just seeing this old, I remember that. That was one of my last times in Philly in the wintertime. But we can expect some rendition of Kilo or Juliet down to 9 left at Yankee. The departure is a radar vector departure up to Pottstown, 5,000. Very simple. So no questions. Everything's good. What's the setting on the armrest? What does that mean? Bill, so the armrest, this armrest will actually pitch up or down, and it will actually tilt forward and aft as well. And you control it by, there's 2 roll knobs. There's a knob right here, and then there's a knob right here, and you kind of roll them with your fingers, and you can adjust. I forget which one is which. I think this one is like up or like tilt, and then this one is like up down. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to have your forearm basically nice and level, so you can put it on the armrest, and then it lines up right with the side stick. So everybody's different. Everyone has a different setting, but this is exactly my setting in the real airplane. It's just kind of funny. I looked down, I was like, whoa, almost exactly. All right, boarding is completed. We're still waiting on the cargo. Everything else is done. 5,000, good squawk. We'll come over here. Let's go AOC, received messages, load sheet, we'll accept it. Done. We added 4 people, so maybe we got 4 non-revs tonight. That's cool. We got them on board. And let's go ahead and cargo doors are shut. So let's start prepping for pushback. Quick turn, I love it. Prepare for pushback and departure. Now this ought to be interesting, because I don't know exactly which taxiway they want to push me onto here. I haven't done a night flight in Microsoft in forever. Wow, look at that.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Maybe I should back it up just a tad. Should I just leave it real time, or should I back it up to sunset? Alright, they're ready for pushback. So before start checklist, windows loaded and slides, closed on, beacon on, thrust lever is idle, parking brake is on, before start checklist is complete. That's coming on. We are ready.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Turn down this brightness a little bit.
Alright, over to advisory, check 779, thanks for coming on tonight. See ya.
2. Turn down our screens just a tad. We'll get in the mood here. Mr. Martini says back it up. Back it up just a tad. When do I turn off the dome light? After I've disconnected and I give them the salute. So they're going to show me the tug and pin. I was going to explain that to you right here as we push back. But typically I'll turn the dome light off after they've already done this. Let's do right here. That because we're going to fly at night anyway. But we'll watch the sunset. I want to go nose right, tail left. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure what'll happen because we're kind of at an angle. But let's see.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Copy. Clear to start. Here we go. We're not wasting any time. This is the last leg of the night. I want to get to the hotel and get some Buffalo Wild Wings. We've got good pressure. Turning engine 1. Should have a wand. Shouldn't have a wand. In violation. And she just walked right in front of a running engine. Not the smartest thing to do. Probably not the sharpest crayon in the crayon box. Is there a good filly? I haven't even looked to see if there's a good filly. If there is, I'm gonna get it. That sounds like we got a good start already. About 18-19%. Yeah, these CFMs are just, they're so rinky-dinky, they start so quick. Some people like that. There's the Avail light. Let's go ahead and turn 2 on the push as well. Turning 2. We're not wasting any time. Check out the moon. I'll have to look, Team Vodka. There is no filly.
Set parking brakes.
Brakes are set. Clear to disconnect. Get us back in time to watch the CFB playoff top 25. Mr. Martini, indeed. Ooh, that is tonight, right? I love this airplane. Man, I mean, it's just, I'm going to have to, I'll send a little message to the Fenix devs because they have, this airplane is so clean now. I can't say that enough. This latest update is the cherry on top, man. Flight models fixed, sounds are perfect, everything is crisp and working as it should. Did a great job.
Unlocking here.
Alright, so she's unlocking. We are waiting for an avail light here. This is in real world, I'm actually like this. I got this out, I got my weights, I'm configuring, I'm double checking the weights after start, make sure our gross weight matches what we have planned and expected, and that's what we ran our numbers for.
Contract disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Meanwhile, the FO is doing this, doing this,
Right is clear.
doing this. Figuring 1 plus F, flaps are coming out. Beautiful. Could you demonstrate how the seat moves all the way back? Yeah, it goes all the way and then it will curve over to the right on the FO side. That way you can get in and out here without tearing your pant leg. I've ripped my pants, my right leg, I ripped it on this corner. Not cool. Alright, there she is. She's out there with the toe pin. There it is. We'll give her the light. Boom. And we are done. So that's coming off. That's coming off. Everything else is done. We are ready to taxi. Let's go ahead and do our checks here. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral, auto brakes, max, takeoff config check, that's done, TARA, flight attendants prepare for takeoff, short taxi out, we're not wasting any time. Let's call ground, we are spot 8, correct? Yeah. Philly ground, Cactus 357, spot 8, ready taxi.
Cactus 357, was that you?
That's from Cactus 357, spot 8, ready taxi.
Cactus 357, runway 9 left, taxi by November Kilo.
November Kilo and 9 left for Cactus 357. Alright, 9 left, November Kilo. Brakes are released. Are you good on the dome light? FO says yep. Alright, and dome light coming off. Taxi light on. Clear left. He says clear right. Add up some power. Not that much. Brake check. Pressure 0. Alright, November Kilo. So straight out on November, right turn Kilo. So right here is where we're going.
Stick around, American 1645 exact.
Vodka says I'm good on the dome line. There you go.
American 1645, hold position.
V1, I would love a flight simulation from Seattle to Portland. Ooh. I haven't done that in a while. I think the last time we did Seattle to Portland, I was on pilotage and I got violated. Because I was in the TOLUS back before the TOLUS would properly change the arrival when you change runways. And yeah, flew the wrong transition. Was not a good look.
I will taxi to runway 9 left here, November Kilo, American 1645.
This brings me back, man. I haven't been to Philly in so long, but just these taxiways, and I used to be based out here, so brings back the old memories, that's for sure. Alright, everything is done. Our checklists are done. We're going all the way to 9er left. Yeah, the default terminal is just terrible, but that livery looks good, doesn't it? How often do pilots use autoland features?
A from the pushing service at our own discretion.
That's hard to answer. That'd be low. In the U.S., it's pretty low. Unless you're in, Seattle, where it's really low vis a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to follow in just a second, but A from the push and start is at my own discretion.
Why does Philly have no sits? Because I don't know the real answer on why they don't have any, but their departure is, the departure SID that they do have, the Philly 2, it takes them pretty much anywhere you need to go in any sector, and I think it has something to do with the airspace being so congested that it's just easier to get traffic off and get them in a sector than having them fly an R-nav departure. I could be wrong about that, but I'm think it has to do with just the airspace congestion up here. Because remember, you got Kennedy, LaGuardia not too far north. You got DC, Baltimore to the south. It's really, and Dulles.
You can speak to us in City Advisory. You have a good night.
Over to Advisory, Cactus 357. Thanks for the ATC. Good night. All right, so we're back over to Unicom. We'll basically clear ourselves for takeoff. Let's do it. Strobe lights on. That's coming on. That's on. And 9 left is one more. So we are flexing tonight, which is weird. I can't remember the last time we did a flex takeoff on this channel. But you'll see how lame it is. Andre, you're behind me? Nice. You're the American? Cool deal, dude. Yeah, very similar to the O'Hare 7. Finals clear. So flex takeoff. And we'll do a rolling flex takeoff too. So here we go. Spool them up 50. Runway heading checks. Takeoff. Man, flex, SRS, or runway, auto thrust blue. Ah, man, see how lame is that? But look how fast it is because we're so light. Thrust set. 100 knots. Check. V1. Rotate. Man, if we did a Toga takeoff there, we would have been off in like 800 feet. Positive rate. Gear up. See that little neg that came up there? That was cool. That happens in real life too. Goodbye, filthy. Now what's interesting, with a high flex like this, our flex at 68 N1 should not be all that different from our climb N1. So our reduction should not be that dramatic. Let's see if there's a dramatic change here. We're at 86%. Thrust climb, we're at 85.4. So basically just 1%. That's very realistic too. Not a big sound change. We'll go direct to Potsdam, insert, and in the turn, here we go. Bank angle checking to the left. Oh, the moon, look at that. Oh my goodness. Wow. All right, let's, I gotta look at that again. Really can see it from here. There it is, it's coming into view. Check out this view of the moon, guys. Wow. That is ridiculous. Oh, New York Center is on 2532. Okay, let's go ahead and do a couple things here. We're speed alt star, we're 5,000. Let's go ahead and retract the flaps 0. Jeez, okay, hold on. Hold on. There's just too much to do. We'll go autopilot 1. Wow. We gotta contact him on 2532.
Okay, 715 for Thomas 183. Cactus 779, you're ready to contact 15 southeast to ravine level 2. Sorry, speed 12.
The pink hue looks amazing. I agree with you, Slam.
260, Cactus 779.
Block 2546, 2.2 for 20,000.
Wow.
Where are you?
X-Planes in chat.
We are about 13 miles from Yoda.
The refinery below, I watched a video about the accident in 2019. Very scary what the potential outcome could be. Romulus. Which refinery? What's the name of that refinery? Do you remember? Do you remember? 'Cause I think I know what you're referring to. I'm going to stay at 5,000 until we get a clearance from him. New York, good evening, Cactus 357. We're level 5,000, squawking 3003 just off Philly. We're about 20 to the east of Pottstown.
Cactus 357, New York. Good evening. You better contact at 5,000. Cedar at 5,000, 518, flight level 300.
All right, present position, direct Pottstown, climb, maintain, flight level 300, Cactus 357. All right, up to 30, we're cleared. Oops, there we go. 30 is blue.
Yeah, I dealt with a lot of aircraft.
Energy Solutions Refinery. Yeah, I gotta look at that. Probably looks better than a lot of in real life sunsets. Whoa, wind shift or wake turbulence. That was either wind shift or wake turbulence. I don't think wake turbulence is simulated. That looks amazing. Let's go back to live. And let's do this. Let's dim the cabin lights.
Southwest 251 radar contact.
Wow.
Radar contact over the
Screenshot.
57. Cross mark out of maintain flight level 1.
Why do pilots say Cactus? Because that's the call sign for U.S. Airways.
That's cross mark at flight level 1.
Well, America West. Technically, we could have gone old school and just done U.S. Air.
Thank you. Walker, we're going to be requesting the Kingston for the pilot for...
That is so juicy there, man. My goodness. We're almost at a 10. Let's go ahead and clean it up. Close enough. Lights are coming off. Ding the flight attendants. Oh my word. This... I'm just going to be quiet, man. Enjoy my rest of my coffee while I look at this. Was on my way to the airport when that refinery exploded, lit up the entire night sky. Wow, dude. Crazy. Turn it down a little bit. Man, the airplane's accelerating. The view is even prettier than mine of the Cascades. I mean, see, and the pink. You see how the lighting is on the the sunset is still, the rays of light are still coming in up on the top, but not down low. That's just amazing.
Officer 2546, drop by the enemy, level 190.
We are so fortunate, guys, to be able to sim.
250 knots and 190.
To have these type of sims available. I mean, this is. We are so fortunate to be simmers at this time, guys. Unreal. Let's get some creepy music on, too. Some evening music. Oops. There we go. What a time to be alive, GNR. I agree, man. This is... So yesterday I did 2 very long deadheads. I was on the back of an airplane and I had a seat similar to this one, but it's almost hard to distinguish real life and sim anymore, which blows my mind. On Andrews, they really need it. They nailed the environment. Never gets old. Exactly. Ooh, we got the direct to Buffalo, or Team Vodka did. I've had that multiple times. Look at these views, guys. Like, let's do a cockpit view here. We kind of missed the sunset, but just feast your eyes on that. Realistically, this would be about on this page here. Like, that's a jump seat view. You guys ever want to sit in a jump? Like, this is what you'd be seeing if you were in the jump seat right now. This is real life jump seat view. 100 years, the Sims will be full immersion. Thank you, sir. Direct Buffalo, Cactus 357. All right, so here we go. So to do this properly, if I were to just type direct buff, I would delete my approach. So what you want to do is you want to put in a new waypoint of Buffalo before your approach waypoint. So right before Zobso, I'm going to put KBUF. I'm going to hit insert, and now I'm going to go direct to the Buffalo that I put above Zobso. So if I go this way, now I still have my ILS approach in the box. So that's a little trick. Oh my gosh, look at the sun reflecting off the engines. You guys must get tired of me being so excited about it. I just can't contain myself, though. But yeah, that's a real clearance. A lot of times late at night, or not late at night, but just going to airports of low traffic, coming out of major hubs like Philly, Kennedy, LaGuardia, going to the outstations, you'll get a direct to the airport. If you just go direct to the airport in your flight plan, it wipes out everything. And then you're going to be behind on the VNAV profile and all that. So if you have your approach in the box, put in the airport identifier right above the first approach waypoint. That way, all you got to do is when you get close, you go to that initial approach fix and everything is still loaded up. It's all the same. You don't have to be fiddling with the box. Ultra Swift says, I did what you're teaching us to prevent. Wasn't very fun. There you go. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you have to redo everything. And then actually, you're going to have to, you basically have to do everything twice if you go direct buff, because then you still have to put the approach back in. And then when you put the approach back in, it's going to put the fix in front of you. So just do it the way I showed you there. It's going to save you a lot of fingerling on the box. Can I say that? Team Vodka says, usually I just put in direct and keeps the approach. You can do that too, Team Vodka. That's not necessarily how the real airplane will work, because if you go direct and put it in, it will pull it depending on the FMS version. So depending on the FMS version, if you have a waypoint in the box, like your destination, if you plug it in on the direct page, it will just pull that one on the destination and wipe everything out. But that's not true across all Airbuses. That's just depending on the FMS.
Oh, just one off. 7161.
161.
Hey, Ron says it's nice to see a pilot get excited about a sim. Dude, it's funny. Going into LA over the weekend, I was just constantly thinking, man, this looks almost as good as Microsoft. Like, you know, and I'm looking around. Man, I wish I could turn up the LOD. And I mentioned it in the Discord. Like, a lot of us complain about the buildings popping in. Hold on, let me change this. Not quite jiving with that one.
Cactus 779, center pulse discretion, maintain follow the 260.
Send pulse discretion, maintain 260, Cactus 779.
There we go. So, the way that the buildings pop in and out, like when you're on final, or not out, but like as you're flying in closer, the buildings start to pop up. So the ironic thing is when you're way out, and I was paying close attention to this, coming into LAX, we're on the Angel or the Hollywood, I can't remember, I think we're on the Hollywood arrival. And
hello V1, I miss your streams. I would love to see a Southwest Tour Spirit service using SimH and FLL, or Allegiant LCK/FLL. What is your favorite approach, airport to land at, and overnight location?
Thank you, Papa Tango, for that $5 dono. Bank go check right back at you, my friend. Appreciate you. I do want to fly Allegiant soon. Favorite approach? Gosh, that depends, man. There's so many of them. But my favorite place to go is back home, man. DFW, going home. Overnight. It just depends, man. There's too many to name. There's too many. I like LA. I like Long Beach, Santa Ana, Boston's cool. Too many good ones out there, dude. Too many. But anyways, back to what I was saying. The way that like if you look in real life, if you're 80 to 100 miles out, you can't see the tall buildings. But as you get closer, you can kind of pick them up, and it almost looks like they grow like you see in the sim. Not 100%, but it is weird because if you're 80 miles out, you can't see the skyscrapers just yet. It looks like a flat 2D Earth. But when you're looking out of a passenger window, I think it might be easy. It's different because at a passenger window, you're looking straight down and you're focusing on these buildings and you can see their full 3D shape. But from cockpit view up here, everything just kind of blends in. And it really, honestly, I mean, Microsoft is not too far off. But again, thank you, Papa Tanga. Appreciate that $5 super chat. I will get in the Allegiant livery. We're going to get in the Raiders livery here pretty soon. I don't know where we're going to fly to yet. Maybe we'll have to pick something good. But we'll get in that Raiders livery because it just looks really good on that Phoenix. Ooh, MHTG, yeah. We got to do MHTG as well. Spec Life, thanks, man. Appreciate you, dude. Just swinging by for a quick Buffalo overnight. Thanks for that direct, my friend. Quick question popped up on XP stream last night. What's the longest you could fly manually in the U.S.? 18,000 after that autopilot needs to be on? No, Daviator, it depends. You can fly manually the whole flight. The problem is once you get up to RVSM altitude or reduced vertical separation monitoring, right, which is above 24? I'm drawing a blank. RVSM starts at 29. Jeez, 29 to 41. Drawing a blank, sorry. So at RVSM altitude, you need to have the autopilot on, which would start at flight level 290. Now, you can still fly above 290 with no autopilot. However, you would have to request what's called a block altitude. So if you were flying an airplane that had an autopilot deferred, for example, and you had to do a manual flight, you would have to tell them in your clearance, or you'd have a note in your flight plan from your dispatcher saying, unable RVSM, request block altitude at cruise, and they'd give you a block like 34 to 38, right? Which would be rare, but you could theoretically do it. So that would be for a mechanical irregularity, but with no mechanicals, yeah, you can hand fly all the way up to 290 unless there's a specific company SOP that prevents it. And as far as I'm aware, I don't know of any here in the U.S. that would prevent that. Heck, I flew up to 24 last night. I flew all the way up to 24 because I was doing a long transcon, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be flying for about the next 4.5 hours, so I'm going to hand fly this sucker all the way up. Took up to about 24, then I engaged the autopilot. Right, present heading 16.5. Team Vodka, we'd have a problem if RVSM started at 16.5. Do I miss flying into Philly? Do pilots like going to Philly in terms of the way it runs? Flightman, here's the thing. The longer I'm away from Philly, I won't say I miss it, but I appreciate it when I get back there because it's like, oh, this is cool. Like my first introduction to the airlines really was in Philly. That was my first base. Well, not my first base, but it was my longest base at the regionals was Philadelphia. And, I spent a lot of time there, like just a lot of memories there. So, but I hated it at the time because it was a pain. And the way Philly Airport is laid out right now is actually much better. There's a couple taxiways have been added, a couple loops, all these taxiways over here are relatively, all this is new. So I was here before any of this changed. And it was much harder to navigate. It was very, very common when U.S. Airways and American were separate. All the traffic, this airport would become a parking lot frequently. So it would be, I remember one time taking off 27 left, there was really not much weather, but we were all the way down here, and I remember specifically because I had to get out and use the left. We weren't even to Yankee yet. Like this was all airplanes, tail to tail, tail to tail. We were like down here by Sierra 9, like number 20 in line for takeoff, for no reason other than just peak traffic. So obviously that changed. American-U.S. Airways merger happened. They reduced the amount of flights. That really started to open things up. Philly started changing the started changing the taxiway layouts, making it a little bit easier.
All right, good day to you. Where are you going to come? Captain 779. See you.
But it's kind of like anything, man. The longer you're away, the more you appreciate it when you get back there. But I don't go home at night thinking about Philly Airport. Yeah, Liam, exactly. Tankers. The tanker jets request block altitudes because they are tanking. So in order to have a proper tanking, and yes, the military is hand flying when they tank. But yeah, you need a whole block of airspace for that because there's a lot of maneuvers that happen for the refueling aircraft as well. The tankers themselves, I'd have to ask someone, I believe are going to be on autopilot during that. So it's the fighters or the jets that are receiving fuel that are being hand flown. I know someone that had a hand fly a 7-3 from Midway to Dallas because the autopilot. Oh, yeah. All right, so let's do some real-world tips here. We're direct to Philly, right? Or, I'm sorry, direct to Buffalo. Let's use our fix info page to help us with our descent. So I'm going to do fix info. I'm going to put in Buffalo Airport as a reference. And I'm going to do a 30 nautical mile radius. And then I'm going to put in a... no, I didn't want to do that. Shoot. That's right. We'll do a radius. There it is, 30 miles. We'll insert that. I got to select heading. Insert. Nav. Was that where you... Nope. Now let's go back direct to Buff. No, let's cancel that. So... Send a flight level 260, catch 357. All right, so we're back to nav. We'll go down to 260. So I've added that 30-mile waypoint. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a 10,000 on that. So I'm going to put 10,000. I'm actually going to do 250 at 10. So we'll do 250, 10,000. Insert that. So if I can be at 10,250 knots, 30 miles from the airport, we'll be stable. So you can see now I've got proper VNAV even though I'm going direct to Buff. So I did a 30 mile an hour, 30 nautical mile ring, double tap it to create a waypoint. That's D030, KBUF, it's cut off, KBU. Put an altitude and airspeed on it. Now we've got, there's no reason to be unstable going into Buffalo now because we have a proper waypoint there to help us with our VNAV. Let's look at the charts for Buffalo as well. We're going to do just a visual approach. We're going to turn everything off, but we got to back it up, right? Always back it up. A 108.5055, 908 is the DH, so we'll come in here, we'll go 908. Let's get the weather. .040 at 6 degrees. 30, was it 69? 3068, wow. All right, so that's set up. We'll get our LS push buttons on. Should have had the seatbelt sign off for a little bit.
3052 RNAV X331 is up at 2. And 3054.
There we go. All set up. We'll do complete hand flown approach. Should be a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me late at night tonight, guys. I normally don't do 2 legs. I normally don't stream late, but this maybe makes up being delayed a day here. So, thanks for hanging out with me late at night. Welcome. Mike V. Over to Unicom. Thanks for the AT. Cactus 357. Good night. All right, we'll go back to Unicom 22.8. Peyton says, I just completed night flights for my PPL. One step closer. Thanks for inspiring me to keep going. Peyton. Hey, man, that's fantastic news, dude. That's awesome. Keep chugging along, dude. Keep chugging along. Night flights. That's fun. I remember as a kid, I always liked flying at night. I would always ask my mom, like, hey, can you book our next flight at night? She'd call. I mean, that's how, like, old, not old, but, like, back in the day. It wasn't, no, you didn't book online. You would call the airline, be like, oh, what do you have at nighttime, blah, blah. She'd set up, like, all right, our flight's at 7 p.m. or whatever. So I used to love seeing all the lights. And then, this is a little bit hyphy for this moods. But yeah, then when I got to actually do real night flying as a private pilot, this is cool. I loved it, man. Absolutely loved it. Digital Mercs is glad you're still going. Last meeting done. Nice, dude. Yeah, I guess it is good to stream a little off schedule sometimes. For all those that have to watch on VOD or don't see it live a little bit later in the evening, get to see it live here. It's a cool deal. How is flying into Denver? I've heard it's a pain because of the wind. Yeah, it always is a pain. It's a pain because you don't know what runway you're going to get ever, and the wind's always bumping around, so it's a pain. You are correct, my friend. I don't particularly love flying into Denver. Question about the 320 series FMGC configuration. What do you put in the perf approach page if the winds are variable, winds are gusting? Depends on your SOP, but gusting, not so much. So Airbus, the way that Airbus works is you always put in the steady state winds. So to answer your second part of that question, steady state winds, because what the airplane is going to do is it's going to measure the difference between your input winds at steady state and what the airplane is actively getting outside. And it will it'll take a mathematical equation from that and give you what's called ground speed mini. So it'll actually bump up your approach speed to help compensate for the gusts. That's why you don't put gusts in the McDo. You only want to put the steady state in the McDo. Now, as far as what you put in there when it's light and variable, some guys put a 5-knot tailwind, some guys put 0 at 0. It would depend on your SOP. Me personally, I just put 0 for 0. If the winds are calm, I put 0 for 0. Some guys will take the worst case scenario, which is a tailwind, put 5 knots on the tail. So, but that, again, that could be dictated by a specific company SOP. That's kind of a cool shot. Remember hearing Contact Potomac all the time. Oh, yeah, Jeremy. But that's one thing, too. Taking off anywhere at the east, like Baltimore especially. Baltimore, D.C., Philly, you get about 27 controller changes before you even reach cruise altitude. And Philly in particular, you get a lot of level off altitudes. Like I know doing Philly, Dallas, you know, 5,000 on the SID. Then it's common maintain 1,2,000. Okay, common maintain 1,3,000. All right, common maintain 1,5,000. And it just you keep going like 1,000 feet, 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet. It just seems that way out on the East Coast. A lot of traffic, a lot of congested airspace, a lot of radio traffic. I think that's why I prefer West. You know, just West is just so much more. It's opened up a little bit more. You just feels like you can breathe a little bit more. Now, there is some heavy traffic West Coast, no doubt about it. LA, SFO, Oakland, Seattle, Portland. Portland's kind of under the radar there, but it's nothing like East Coast, especially up there, Big Three, Kennedy, LaGuardia, Philly. It just Boston. You can throw Boston in there too. Newark. I mean, it's a complete conglomerate up there on that Northeast. Do you ever contact controller and they give you a frequency change 10 seconds later? Yes, they do. Jeremy, I don't know why that is, but yeah, someone else asked that question earlier, I think. Basically, I've checked on the frequency, and then they say short stay, contact, whatever. So literally less than 10 seconds on frequency. I think maybe it's a semantic thing, you know, got to go through the proper steps. Reset jet. A lot of New York Center keep you low because you're in the RJ. Yeah, true. Ever been to Sacramento? Yeah, I've got family in Sacramento. John, no? Yes, sir. Been there quite a few times. Do you think it's good for new pilots to learn to fly in a more congested airspace? Yes, and I think the experience is good, Andre. Whether or not you learn there, I don't think that makes a difference long run. But I think it should be part of a curriculum, really. Like, hey, you need to go Bravo airspace and get experience in the congested airspace. Like when I was an instructor, man, we had so much training at our flight training airport. We actually were the busiest, I think like the second busiest airport in the world when it came to touch and goes. Now, granted, they're all like GA 172s, Archers, Arrows, Seminoles, But I mean, in the world, when you look at takeoff and landings, it was just like, I think it was like the second or third busiest in the world. And it was a 2 parallel runways at Deer Valley. I mean, it was not uncommon to be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 in line in the traffic pattern. Not in line, in the traffic pattern. Like, yeah, you're number 14 in line, extend your downwind. Going downwind so far that you would actually exit Class Delta airspace. That's how busy it would be. All right, so let's do a little math check here on this VNAV, because I can tell you right now, that doesn't look right. If we're at 26,000 feet, we need to be at 10,000 feet. That's 16,000 feet to lose, right? So if we did 16 times 3, that's 48 miles. So 48 miles from our waypoint, we should start down. We are not there, so we need to start down now. I wonder what's up with that. So Team Vodka, I think you were talking about this earlier. Now, this might change because of the headwind, though. Look, we got 60 knots on the nose. Interesting. I'm going to try something. Alright, so we're going to do mock descent. We're starting down. Seatbelt sign is coming on. Let's just see if how we make this here. I'm training at Deer Valley now. It's super busy. Liam, are you really? You at United Aviate? I run an ADS-B receiver halfway between Baltimore and Philly and see over 3,000 aircraft a day. Wow, dude. V1, do you think you return to X-Plane 11 or 12, or is Microsoft with the Fenix the holy grail of flight simming? Ooh, that's a loaded question. As of right now, there is nothing that would draw me to X-Plane 12 other than the airplanes. 319, 321, 727. 727 is not even updated yet. So, other than that, there's no reason for me to be in X-Plane. Now, another reason that I don't want to get an X-Plane is there's no has Orbix, and this is a question for you in chat, is there like updated compatible Orbix with X-Plane 12 yet? I know people say you can get 11 to work. It kind of works. It kind of doesn't work. I even did that in California. I made my directory for X-Plane 11 Orbix to 12, and it worked, but it was like really bad performance, and stuff still looked weird. So I just don't know if I can get some official, like, hey, this is Orbix California updated for X-Plane 12. I'll download it, install it. We'll fly some X-Plane. But I am not going to start a brand new simulator tweaking and trying to make things compatible when they're not compatible. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So I'm waiting for official sceneries to come out so my sim will look somewhat appealing to fly in. But yeah, until then, man, this sim is where it's at. And now I don't know why. Let's see. There's no way we're going to make that. We're 20 miles out. It says we're 3,000 feet low. Maybe it doesn't take into account... Maybe the Fenix doesn't take into account a custom waypoint or a custom restriction. This is interesting. I'm going to let it do its thing here. Let's just... We are not going to be 10,250. We're only 7... Yeah. No, we are... Okay, so something is up. Found a bug. And I think it might have something to do with custom waypoints, or maybe custom altitudes that aren't in the database. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. We are going to start down though. Jeremy says you give tips for being a good student or a good pilot all the time. What about tips for being a good instructor or teacher? Ooh. Well, I think the best teachers, instructors, you got to have, in order to be above average, you have to have 3 times the knowledge of the subject that you're going to teach. If you just know the basics, I think that really separates the good instructors from the average instructors. You need to know more because there's going to be questions that you get from students that if you have a better understanding than what is really kind of expected of you maybe on that area, you can be that much more helpful with helping students answer questions, etc., etc. Also, principle of primacy as far as an instructor goes. I'll hit the magic barrel ref key. Make sure when you teach somebody something, you teach them correctly the first time. I think that is a huge fundamental of instructing. It's part of the FOIs, but that is such a huge one, and I've seen that play out so many times where you need to make sure the first time you teach something, it's the correct thing. Because it's very hard to change that. It's very hard to change a student on something that you teach them if you teach them wrong the first time. Aaron, make sure you share this timestamp with Amir so we can be aware of it. I'm going to send him a message just to look into that. I feel like it's trying to, because we're not high for Buffalo, but because I put in a waypoint there, it almost like it's like it didn't care about it. So I'll send them a little message on that, and then they can test it internally. But I got to ask them about this. This is... I wish I would have taken a picture of it, because that's like exactly where I put mine. I love it. I love it, though. All right, we're leveling at 10,000. We're going to stay fast. So let's clean up the box here. So we're going to extend the line. So since there's nobody on, we're going to fly present heading. Heading mode. We're leveling at 10,000. We're going to go Zobso 054 insert. We're basically extend that. There we go. Wait a second. Yeah, I don't know. Something is funky on this approach. Something's not adding up here. It didn't like when we added that custom waypoint. I'll tell you that. It did not like it. All right, listen to the wind noise dying off. That's pretty good. All right, 250 on the speed, descend and maintain 7,000. Lights are coming on. No ATC. We'll do this. We'll do this. I really want to fly the Saab 340 again, as Logan Air announced the last 8 they have are being retired. Oh, man, that's crazy. Yeah, see, that's the other thing, too. Saab, there's some airplanes in the X-Plane that are just phenomenal. And I think over time, when we get them in Microsoft, it's going to really change the game, but... yeah, something a little weird going on. We'll go ahead and send the 4,000. Let's activate and confirm the approach phase. Yeah, they're definitely open to advice. Oh, 100% Phoenix is. All right, I'm going to try this again. All right, well, works for me. All right, Cactus 357, turn left. We'll get ready to join the downwind here. Buffalo traffic, Cactus 357, we're at a 7,000, joining downwind for runway 5, Buffalo. Matter of fact, I can see it right there. Alright, so we're actually going over an LOM. Let's do this. Let's turn on the marker beacon. I still do this in real life because sometimes I like to see if any beacons are still active. So we're gonna see if we can ID the LOM. Locator outer marker, which should be at 2300, so we can actually, let's descend and maintain 3000. We'll square it off here. We'll come down to about 280. There was somebody on an 8-mile final. I think that's him. He's way out there. Yeah, He's way out there still. We'll get flight recorder ready. We can watch this one on full replay. Orbix have started to release scenery for 12. When I last checked, unsure about the rest. Told us fleet is a great thing for answer. I'm explaining you just, but I'm wavering. Very short. I'll tell you what, man. It's if you do waver into Microsoft, you will probably most likely get sucked in. The biggest problem with Microsoft, in my opinion, coming from X-Plane. A lot of the hardcore simmers in X-Plane, myself included. I consider myself pretty hardcore in X-Plane. The hardest part is getting past the game arcade-like user interface and control bindings. There's Team Vodka. There's the guy on final right there. So go into it with a mindset of like, okay, this is going to be a pain in the butt, but I got to get these bindings done. Once I get them done and I get used to how this stupid arcadey, gamey, console-y feeling interface feels, it's a hell of a sim. But there is no denying that the interface in Microsoft, the controls, it is just very gamey feeling. Let's come right back to 180 and let's hand fly. Shall we? Traffic is inside of us. We'll start the recording now. Let's do it. Autopilot off. Flight director's off. Give me the bird. Managed speed. I'm going to turn the auto thrust off. Auto thrust is off. Tiller cam is on. Let's do this. Flaps 1. 3,000 set for the go-around altitude. Microsoft thinks of Microsoft Flight Simulator just like any other game. Yeah? It's a good way to put it, Jeremy. VFE next minus 10, flaps 2. Buffalo traffic, Cactus 357, turning base, runway 5, Buffalo. Flaps 2, let's stay at 180 here for a minute. We're going to descend to, I think it was 2300 was the LOM, or 2700. So we'll creep down a little bit. The altitude alert will go off. We'll cancel that. Key 6. Yes, you missed the drink service, man. So there's the altitude alert. Check. 3,000 is set for a go-around. Oops, here comes the localizer. Localizer alive. I missed that call. Yeah, it's a much difference on final as far as sound is concerned. Yeah, this to me sounds like a 319, just the volume level, the decibel level. But it's not far off at all. Not far off at all. Sounds very good. Much better than being straight quiet. I think I said it on the last approach. In the sim, desktop simulator, you need a little extra pizzazz, whether it's from your sound pack.
Traffic, Cactus 779, clear of runway 5, just crosswind.
You need a little extra something to help make up for the fact that we don't have full motion sims. I think sound is the perfect thing. If it's a little bit more amplified, it kind of helps you out. Because in real life, you can feel it, right? You can feel your seat coming out from under you a little bit. All right, we're 180, flaps 2, 2,000 feet. Man, we are looking good. Buffalo traffic, X357, we're over Plaza, 5 mile final, runway 5, Buffalo. Top power to idle, gear down, speed brakes on. VFE next minus 10, flaps 3. There's the outer marker. I don't hear it though. Oh, barely. I hear it. Barely. That's pretty cool. See the OM flashing there? Pretty neat. VFE next minus 10, flaps full. Nice little wind from the left there. Another crosswind tonight. Jeez. Catching back up to that slope. 2 whites, 2 reds. Landing checklist. Cabin crew advised auto thrust is off. ECAM memo. Even though you can't see it, a landing all green. Here comes that slope. Get that power in now. Get that tail of the flight path marker on the horizon. A little more down. There you go. Get some juice in there. Get some juice in there. Stabilize.
1,000.
1,000 feet stable, clear to land. Nice little crab. Wow, doing an opposite crosswind. Yeah, you don't see the outer markers very frequently anymore, Brendan. That's how you used to identify all the ILSs. Marker beacons. That wind is kind of shifting to a headwind. Oh, now I say that, now it's going back to the left. Definitely is shifting around a little bit. Pretty variable out of the northeast. Might carry a little, might carry just a little extra juice with me here on final. Maybe a little bit closer to 140. See, that wind is dying off now. 10 knots. Ooh, getting a little high. Correcting.
100 above. Minimum.
Landing. Nice gust of wind there.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
Spoilers, fly the nose down. Reverse green. I felt pretty good. 70 knots, idle reverse. Manual braking. Let's go ahead and clear here at Charlie. Get that ground speed down. 20 knots is a little fast to be turning off here at 90 degrees. Buffalo traffic. 350 we're clear of runway 5, taxi ramp, Buffalo. Alright, we are clear. And we're going to go back to our gate. He's on final. We're going to cross a runway here. Right? Am I not mistaken? Yeah, we're going to cross 3-2, so we're going to keep all our lights on. We're not going to reconfigure just yet. Buffalo traffic, kick to 350, we're crossing 3214 Buffalo. Nobody's on final left, so clear left, clear right. Nice little bump. All right, now we're clear, so we'll go here, here. Taking it down. There's Southwest. I think that's JetBlue Gate. Or is that JetBlue Gate? Looks close enough for me. Ah, that stupid click and drag bug. Gosh, that's annoying. Oop. That's nice. Brakes are set. Ladies and gentlemen. Oop, we'll stop recording there. Welcome to Buffalo, New York. That guy already landed? I think he did. There's another one on final, but 5 o'clock. I gotta get out of here. Let's watch the replay. Disconnect. Let's see how we did. I'm at middle mouse click. I know digital merc. I don't. My middle mouse doesn't register. Middle mouse button doesn't work for me, so I gotta get a new mouse. Ginar, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. As we listen to that. Thanks for hanging out with me late at night, dude. Let's watch this little replay here, and I'm gonna get out of here. You guys are gonna get out of here. Sail's coming on. There's our visual approach into INI Buffalo. Freaking love this airport. I'm gonna do some more streams in and out of here. But at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna wrap it up. Let you watch this replay here. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. A little late night streaming. Well, late night, 5 o'clock. But late for me being live. So hope you guys enjoyed this content. Had a nice flight going to New York, into our Jersey, I should say, and then coming back to the mighty Buffalo. We stayed in New York pretty much the whole stream. So for all you New Yorkers out there, this one's for you. Douglas Phillips coming in with the $20 super chat just as we're getting ready to sign off. Thank you, Mr. Douglas Phillips. Appreciate that. Very kind of you, sir. Enjoy the replays, folks. Everybody hit the like button. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you for all the new members. Membership don't know from Callie Simmer. Again, absolutely awesome. Chris Rund, Fubar, Flame, Douglas Phillips, Ginar, Key 6 Russell, Digital Merc, 24 Moot, Romulus, and many more. You guys take care. Have a good night. Enjoy your Tuesday evening. Until next time on V1, stay safe, stay healthy. See you.
$500.